All right, guys, welcome in. I hope the sound is on. I hope the camera's working. I hope everything's fine. We had some technical difficulties last time. We're going to try to avoid it at all costs tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because this is it's a high IQ outfit, but it's supposed to be a professional outfit. It's supposed to be something that works. Ideally, it's something that works. If my sound is not on, if I'm talking to myself, please, by all means, shame me. Shame me. You're more than welcome to. Yes, Periwinkle makes a return. If you watch Diligent, you saw Periwinkle yesterday, but I only wore it an hour, so it was clean as a whistle. Put it right back on. Guys, appreciate you joining me on a Sunday evening. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We are going to explore the mountain. You guys ever go mountain exploring? You guys ever hitch a plane? Well, some of you live in mountainous terrain, but most of us that don't, you got to go somewhere. You got to explore the mountain. We're going to explore the mountain tonight because the mountain is a molehill. It's going to crumble. The mountain is going to crumble. It's going to look terrible. It's going to look terrible by the time we get done with it. We have a lot of questions. And we won't be shamed about asking them. That's the goal right now, is that they are trying to shame people into not asking the questions. Who killed Charlie Kirk? How and why? Who killed Charlie Kirk? How and why? If we have time at the end, I want to ask a Fauci question, which is, why isn't he in prison for the rest of his life? But we'll get there. We might have to push that to tomorrow. It depends on how the rest of the evening develops. But I trust you are safe. Your safety harness is buckled. You are, at least have a little bit of the edge of the seat. You're not going to need much more than that. And as we get through tonight, I hope that the question or the what's the word I'm looking? The complaint that all we do is attack people and we have no basis for asking questions. I hope that's put to bed. That's why we're doing this show tonight. Because people say, oh, but Baron, they had a preliminary hearing. We saw the mountain of evidence. Well, we'll talk about it. All you guys do, Candace and you and Ian and others, all you do is attack poor Erika. She's just a poor widow. And you're just assaulting her. Actually, as you look at my past, and I just did it this weekend. I went back through some old episodes, looked at some transcripts, uploaded all my transcripts into an AI program. And I said, tell me every time that I've attacked Erika Kirk. Called her a liar. Said she had demonic eyes. Like, I gave it a full prompt. I didn't hold anything back. It was minimal. And I think most of them were justified. But not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I want to point out that the questions we have are legitimate. These are legitimate questions. So we're going to get through these. And it may take us a little while. We're also going to do a little lawyering. Unfortunately, it's necessary. When we get to that section, you'll understand why it's necessary. But over the weekend, or late last week, I can't remember which, Candace Owens raised an interesting question. Who the hell is Charlie Kirk? Where's his body? Did you guys combust it? Is it combusted? Has it turned into ash? Did you, I'm trying to think of the word, cremate it? Or is it buried somewhere? Or is he hanging out on ice, on a slab of ice in some morgue somewhere? Well, I think he deserves to rest in peace. We'll ask the question, and I'll tell you one of the reasons I'm asking the question. Because tonight, when we do a little lawyering, when we open the Utah Code and look through it a little bit, I think everyone's operating on an assumption right now that may not be true. So this could be interesting. This could be an interesting show, depending on where you find yourself. I had something else I wanted to say. Oh, Friday. I was supposed to do a show Friday. I did not. I had a very important meeting, and it went a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, the investigation is just warming up. I don't know any other way to say this. The investigation is just warming up, and Fed sloppers better beware, because what they're doing is, for 10 and a half months, they're committing to a set of facts that may not be accurate. And that includes the police. That includes the prosecution. That includes all the paid influencers that are out there making a living off of peddling these facts that may not be true, such as we've kind of taken it for granted that there was a 30-06 on the roof. Well, was there? Was there a 30-06 on the roof? We might find out soon. We might find out soon. Well, let me just jump into it. I don't want to beat around the bush. I just want to sort of roll through some of these questions. And as we do, just understand, none of these questions am I asking for some stupid reason. I'm asking them all for a specific reason. Every one of these questions remains unanswered from the preliminary hearing. unanswered after 10 and a half months of Fed slop being given to everybody. At any point in time, any one of these questions could have been answered, but they chose not to answer them. They chose not to answer them. Was there something else I was going to bring up today? Oh, oh. Miss Daisy was out there looking around Erika Franzfe's social media history. We're going to get into that tonight. There's some really interesting things. And we're not talking about old fish fillet posts from 2014. We're talking about 2 weeks before Charlie died. Really, really interesting stuff. So buckle up. Buckle up. I forgot about that. I forgot all about that. So yeah, buckle up. We're going to get through it. But let me start asking some questions. Because I fear for Tyler Robinson's life. I fear for Tyler Robinson's life. I fear he's in grave danger from the moment Judge Tony Graff decides to send this thing to trial. Because the way that's going to be messaged, you watch the people come out of the courtroom and say, 4K, high definition footage, plain as day. You get to see him pull the trigger. That's a lie. It's a lie. You know it's a lie. I know it's a lie. They know it's a lie. They're going to have to live with that one day. They're going to have to face their creator one day and explain why they lied and was it worth it? But I fear for his life. Because when we can run through these questions today, what you're going to find out is there's no way the prosecution can try this case. There's no way. There's no way they can win this case. I think the case is unwinnable based on what we know. I think in a few minutes after I roll through these, you're going to agree with me. This is a fairly unwinnable case from a prosecution. There are a lot of things they could have told us and did not. I've already covered a lot of them that I'm not going to cover tonight. Like, why didn't the parents testify? Well, he obviously didn't tell them he did it. You were lied to for 10 months. You were told for 10 straight months that Tyler Robinson confessed to his parents. And then when it came put up or shut up time, they shut up. They did not produce the parents. That was shut up time. That was shut up time. So let me roll through some of these questions because I think these are pretty good questions. We saw grainy, what looked to me to be intentionally downgraded videography from the campus. It was so poor in quality that Tyler's own roommate was unable to identify Tyler Robinson. At one point, we had a car that they called a Dodge Challenger. It kind of looked like a car pulled up in front of somebody's house, and the lights flashed a few times, and maybe you saw some feet or legs or something. We couldn't make heads or tails of it. And then on cross-examination, it comes out that there was a bald man and 3 passengers, at least according to the person's video they were using, their Nest doorbell camera. Lady named Miss Noble. She's delightful. Nothing wrong with Miss Noble. She's not hiding the ball on anything. But that was her statement she gave on that. So the question became, how intentionally downgraded was this footage? You know, you see the quality that I'm coming through on you right now should be sparkling 1080p coming through your YouTube channel. But, you know, we watch security footage all the time. Look at how high quality the Dairy Queen photo was, for example, of the alleged Tyler Robinson. It was pretty clear. I mean, it looked just like him. Then all of a sudden we get to UVU and you got these just horrific quality images. The question is, how high quality is the footage on that campus? How high quality is the footage on the campus? Is it all muddy and underwater? Does it all look like it was filmed with a potato in 1994? I remember the very first picture I ever took on a cell phone. I was in law school. It was 2003 or 4. I can't remember which. I did not know cell phones existed on cameras at the time. I mean, I didn't know cameras existed on cell phones at the time. Mrs. Coleman and I were out at a bar. It got a little raucous towards the end of the night, and somebody pulled out a phone and took a picture. And I thought, you could take a picture on a phone? What? And so he turned around. He took a picture of all of us. My first selfie, my first cell phone selfie was at a bar in a college town. And I immediately texted it to a few people. And all of them were just blown away by it. They were like, whoa, you can take pictures in real time at a bar? Are you out of your mind? 11 p.m. on a Thursday night or whatever night it was? Yeah, you could. If you went back and looked at that picture now, you might not even be able to recognize it's me because we become so accustomed to our high quality images that we see every day. That image was like a half a megapixel. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible quality, but I thought it looked pretty good at the time. Unfortunately, UVU has provided this same quality of image, this 0.5 megapixel quality of imagery. The question is that really the quality of the imagery? In other words, can we tell what the alleged Tyler Robinson is actually doing on the roof? They tell us he crawls. Can we actually see him crawl? Do you have footage high quality enough that you would actually be able to see him crawl? Do you, when he Spider-Man's off, can you see what's in his hand? Does it look like a gun? The lousy quality footage they gave us doesn't seem to answer that question, but does better quality footage exist? I don't know, but that's a question that I still have. Speaking of footage on campus, where in the heck is the Chick-fil-A footage? You know, part of their narrative that they put forward was Tyler Robinson showed up, went to the parking garage, went to the quad, all that stuff. And then he leaves, drives off campus, walks back on campus, and decides, I would like nothing more than a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, maybe a box of nuggies. Maybe he gets a frozen lemonade or frosted lemonade, whatever you call it. Those are delicious, by the way. Not sponsored, but they are delicious. Maybe he wanted a frosted lemonade. Maybe he wanted a peach milkshake. We don't know what he got at the Chick-fil-A because we have no imagery. We have no receipt. Where is the footage? Where is the receipt? You want to put him on campus now twice. 2 times he had to pay. He had to pay to get Chick-fil-A. He had to pay to get in the parking lot. What source of payment did he use? You're telling us it's him. Prove it. Put up or shut up. Don't show me a blurry image of a guy in a red t-shirt. That's not going to cut it. Did they get the license plate number from the parking lot? He parked in a parking garage. Most parking garages have a camera right on there. Why? Because if you bust in there or bust out of there without paying, they want to know who you are. They don't want to say, well, it was a gray Dodge Challenger. They want to say it was a gray Dodge Challenger, license plate ACE712, Utah tag. I don't know who that is. Don't look it up. Don't contact that person. I just made that up off the top of my head. But usually there's the parking lots in Nashville I go to, you don't even pay. You just drive in and they bill your license plate because you signed up one time 11 years ago. They obviously have the capacity to look at your license plate number. Where is that footage? Where is the license plate? Where were you able to confirm that was his car? Speaking of the parking lot, he walks out of the parking garage and onto the quad. He walks out to the quad, they call it, or the amphitheater area. He meets with an not elected representative. He meets with a TPUSA representative. That's their testimony, not mine. Who? Who did he meet with? You talk about somebody who can put him on campus. We don't have to worry about blurry cell phone footage. We don't have to worry if somebody stole his debit card and accidentally used it to pay in parking lot or Chick-fil-A. We don't have to worry about any of that. We've got an eyewitness. There's only one eyewitness in this story, by the way. This whole story of Tyler Robinson, there's only one eyewitness. You know who it is? Well, 2, really. Only one's gone on the record on video. Diligent Denizen on X, on YouTube. He went down to Penguich, Utah. He met with the server at Cowboy Steakhouse who checked out Tyler Robinson. He 100% definitively ID'd Tyler Robinson by his face and his voice. Now, is he right? Do we know if he's right? I don't know. But it's the only person willing to make a definitive identification. The only person who says, without a doubt, I know that's who I talked to. The only person that's provided any evidence of it. Here's a receipt that he used. This is the receipt that was generated for him. That's it. That's the only person. Well, the TPUSA representative could have sat in the witness stand and said, yes, I met with him. I saw him face to face. I looked evil in the eye. And they would know looking evil in the eye working at TPUSA. I'm sure they watched the videos. I don't know what the board meetings are like there or what the staff meetings are like. Ugh. Anyway, they would know looking evil in the eye if you saw it. I promise you they would. Where was that person? Why hide that person? You have an opportunity to convince Judge Graff, yeah, he was here. I think the biggest weakness in the entire case is whether or not Tyler Robinson was even there. If they can put him there, if they can definitively place him on campus, that's a weakness in Tyler Robinson's case. Likewise, if they can't, that's a weakness in the state's case. You can't kill someone on campus if you weren't on campus. You can't, look around and say, gosh, why are you charging me if you were on campus? So that's a weakness in the case, both ways. Put that weakness to bed and bring in the TPUSA representative and say, I, Mary, Jim, Junebug, whatever your name is, I looked Tyler Robinson in the eyes. He asked me which way was the head. He asked me which way was the quadrangle. I don't know. I have no idea what he would say. He might have said, "Where's Charlie Kirk sitting? Is he under that tent or that tent? Where's he going to be?" Any of these would be good because you'd be able to definitively place Tyler Robinson there. Or just show me the video footage. You obviously have video footage of it, right? Right? Surely it's high quality enough you can tell it's Tyler Robinson. But why didn't they present any evidence of that? They told us the meeting took place. Has that person even been questioned? Has that person been called in and given a statement? We don't know. We don't know. A question I have, because the only footage we've been given of the alleged Tyler Robinson on the roof, we got the initial clip from the FBI that looked like 3 to 5 seconds after the Big Bang. And you see a pixelated figure way off in the distance, about this big on your screen, scampering across the Losi Center roof. It's a camera that seems like it's 400 miles away. It's really just on the other side of a parking lot. And then you see this pixelated image that you can't really tell what it's doing, but it's sort of Spider-Man's off the back of the building. He drops to the floor and scampers off towards the road. And then it cuts off. That's all we were given initially. At the preliminary hearing, they gave us some, what I like how Natalie Morris, when I was on Redacted the other day, said this. They gave us like a sizzle cut. They gave us some footage of him on a roof, but they didn't give us all the footage of him on the roof. They gave us like a couple of clips of him on the roof ahead of time, beforehand. And there were some minutes cut out of it, and it was obvious he was already up there when it started. Why did you not walk into the preliminary hearing and say, here it is, front to back. This is the moment he walks up on the roof until the moment he Spider-Man's down and goes to the street. Everybody just sit tight. It's about 9 minutes or it's 15 minutes, but we're just going to play it because we have nothing to hide. We're not afraid of any of this. The highest quality footage we have, it's 4K HD. They put it on a television screen and let everybody look at it. Why didn't you do that? So the question is, how long was he on the roof? And what was he doing up there? Can you see him assemble a rifle? Did he pull a rifle out of his pants? Or was he just happy to see us? I mean, seriously, though, we're told did he pull it out of the back of his pants? Did he pull it out of the front of his pants? Did he have to screwdriver it together? Where did he screwdriver it together? Right over the rail? Did he go up by the... There are so many unanswered questions about this, and I don't understand why. You're trying to tell the judge to send it to a jury. You're trying to tell a judge it's definitively him. Give us everything you got. Show us what you got on the roof. Speaking of the roof, how did he get to the side of the roof? You know, he got to the side of the roof where he was allegedly looking over the ledge, perched with a gun. How did he get there? Did he run? Did he walk? Did he moonwalk? Did he hammer time over there? Did he can't touch this? Do. Did he? I mean, how did he get over there? Did he crab walk? You know, where you put your hands down behind you and your belly's up in the air and you're sort of wiggling your way. Did he crab walk? Did he get on all fours? Was he on his hands or his elbows? Was he going? Because it's rock up there. It's hot rock. And where was his gun while he's doing this? While he's crawling? Where's his gun? And how's he ensuring that the scope's not bouncing around over all the rocks? How's he making sure it maintains a zero while he's, is he all four crawling, crab walk crawling? There are a lot of unanswered questions. You're trying to tell me that it's more likely than not this guy took a shot from 138 to 142 yards away, a single shot, and frankly didn't miss. But you don't tell me how he got the gun to the edge? Was there any other artifact visible while he was up there? What I mean by that was, did he pull out a phone? You know, every time we see him, he's pulling out a phone. He had looked like he touched an ear or an earbud at one point. Maybe he's changing a song. Maybe he's sending a signal. We don't know. But every time we see him, he seems to be playing on his phone. Did he pull out a phone while he was up there? Did he pull out two? Did he pull out any kind of CB radio? Did he pull out any two-way communication? Did he flash any kind of signal? You know, if you want to eliminate the idea that this guy was working with anybody else and he was just a patsy and he was just a decoy, show us the whole video and show us there's no funny business going on up there. You know, I'm telling you right now, if he pulls out a phone or he pulls out a walkie-talkie or he's up there flashing signals, they got a problem. They got a real probable cause problem because their story doesn't hold up anymore. It fails to hold up at that point. The story would come apart if he's signaling somebody up there, if he's talking to somebody up there, or if he's acknowledging somebody up there. You know, anybody, you guys ever scuba dive? You know all the motions? If he's doing anything up there, if there's any kind of signaling to anybody, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Because that's not their story. That's not their story. Tyler Robinson solely planned and executed Charlie Kirk. It's irrelevant what's going on down below. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't need to be on the phone. You don't need to be on your watch. You don't need to be on a CB. You don't need to be flashing signal. You just walk up to the side of the edge and bang, and go on about your business. Is that why they haven't shown us high quality footage? Is that why they haven't shown us all the footage? Likewise, if we don't see him putting a gun together, if we don't see him screwing the gun together, how did he get the gun on the roof? And why was there a screwdriver? You figure since the screwdriver is the only thing that puts Charlie Kirk on the roof, the video they showed us would have showed him putting the screwdriver together, putting the gun together. That's it. That's an integral part of their story. It is missing. It's totally missing. It is not part of what we saw at the preliminary hearing. They told us there was a screwdriver. They told us it was on the roof. We didn't see it. They told us it was used. We didn't see it. I'm telling you right now, if there's anything on that video footage that shouldn't be there, that indicates in any way whatsoever he's working with somebody else, or he's not carrying a 30-06, or he did not put a gun together, they're cooked. They're cooked. They can't win the case. The case is out. And if I'm Tony Graff, I'm calling people into contempt for lying. I'm sanctioning people. I'm putting them in jail. I think I'm going to go out on a limb. I cannot see a reason they wouldn't have played the entire footage if it was innocent. This was a 5-day preliminary hearing. We're told he was up there, 15 to 18 minutes? They were in session for like 36 hours. Not only that, they knocked off at noon the day they ended. They had another several hours to go. Why didn't they play all the footage? I will plant a flag in this right here. I promise you, if this goes to trial and they show all that footage, there's something there that they don't want you to see. There's something, I don't know if it's something I said or something else I'm not thinking of. He did something on that roof that is inconsistent with their story, or you would have seen it. I'm telling you right now. I am confident in that statement. I've never been more confident about any aspect of this case than I am that statement right there. Every time they clipped a video, there was a reason why. There's a reason why they clipped the video at the top of the parking lot stairs, where they clipped a minute 5 seconds or a minute 6 seconds out. There's a reason they clipped the video footage at the top of the roof. There's a reason they didn't show the whole ingress all the way to the side of the building. There's a reason. I promise you there's a reason. And I'm frankly shocked Judge Graff didn't say, where the hell's the rest of the video? Why are you only showing us like 2 minutes of this? He was up there 15. What's he doing? Show him putting the gun together. Show him crawling all the way out there. Show me that he doesn't stand up and signal somebody. Show me something. Because if there's any indication to anyone else on earth that he's on that roof, he's not alone. The story falls apart. Tyler Robinson goes home. He goes home. Because if they'll lie to you about that, they're lying to you about Tyler Robinson. This is a special note to the prosecution and the defense right here. You guys better be dadgum sure nothing else is on that footage. You better be really sure nothing else is on that footage. Because if I'm right, you guys are hiding something, and we've invested 10 and a half, almost 11 months into this case, and there's something on that roof that you didn't want us to see, may God have mercy on your soul. And may the court system not have mercy on your souls. Anything being hidden on that roof, every single person who knows about it and doesn't disclose it should be facing life in prison, the same punishment Tyler Robinson's facing. Anybody in the prosecution's office who hid what happened on that roof, who intentionally downgraded the quality of the video footage or intentionally clipped around certain aspects of that, you guys should go to prison for a long time. Life. You're trying to put, I don't believe in the death penalty, so I'm not going to call you for the death penalty here, but I think you should do life in prison with no parole. If there's anything on that footage and you guys don't come clean with it by September 1st, when all the evidence is closed and you guys do summation, if you don't come clean with it by that date and it comes out after the fact, may God have mercy on your souls and may the court system have none. And because of the way it was clipped, I kept watching that footage this weekend that they played in the courtroom, and I thought, they're hiding something. Something happened on that roof. He's not working alone. Whoever's on that roof is not working alone. They're hiding something. In all likelihood, what they're hiding is communication. In all likelihood, what they're hiding is communication. Communication with the cars on the ground, communication with somebody under the tent, something. And I don't know what the form of communication was. Was he carrying more than one cell phone? Did he have a poster board he held up that said, "Hey, I'm about into position"? I don't know. But I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it. I'll donate $1,000 to TPUSA if they show us the whole footage and there's no attempt to communicate with anybody else. That's how confident I am. And I think the prosecution's hiding it, and it terrifies me that the defense might be hiding it as well. We'll find out, because we might not if Tyler Robinson dies. And this is why I'm worried about Tyler Robinson's safety. This is why I'm worried about his health and his safety. They don't want to show you that video footage. If something happens to Tyler Robinson, you'll never see it. They'll delete that footage so fast, your head will spin. They'll close this case. They'll pack it up. Woo! There'll be about 1,000 people involved in this case that'll all take a collective sigh of relief and move on. Where was his backpack? Where was his backpack when he climbed off the roof? Was it on his back still? Had he taken it off of his back? Was it in his hand? Where was his backpack? What color was it? Was he wearing a jacket? Was he wearing a sweater? You know, we saw the pictures in the stairwell of him, and he looked like he just had on a T-shirt. But then we heard the testimony or the phone call from the guy who recorded from the side, and it said he looked like he was wearing full tactical gear, jacket, boots, shorts, gloves, a whole 9 yards, maybe even a face mask and a helmet. So if that guy says he's wearing a jacket, where's his jacket? Does he take it off? Can you find it? Have we found it? Speaking of being on camera, Spider-Man's off the building. And then we see him run to the street, and then the camera cuts off. They cut the footage. But they tell you he ran to the woods. How do they know that? If the camera footage stops with him at the street, how do they know he went to the woods? Are they guessing? Is there camera footage of him crossing the street, or does it stop when he gets to the street? And if there's camera footage of him crossing the street, does he go towards the woods? Do you see him go into the woods? How do you know he went in there? We take them at their word, and there was no real cross-examination on this, and it was a little disappointing. I would have loved for them to say, "Well, whoa, Mr. Investigator, you say he went to the woods. How do you know that? How do you know he went to the woods? Do you have video footage of him in the woods? Do you have an eyewitness that shows him going into the woods?" Because if he was going to the woods, did he cross the street? And if he crossed the street, do you take a right or do you take a left? Do you go straight? Where did he go? And then do we ever see him again? In other words, when he comes out of the woods, allegedly, assuming he went into the woods, do you see him again? Is that how you know he went into the woods? Because you saw him turn right and then you lost him towards the wooded line and then you see him come out and he's in the... You can tell it's him somehow? And did he go anywhere else on camera? Is there anywhere else he went on camera except the woods? And if he did, can we see it? Will you show it to us? Do we see him going anywhere else at all? The Falmina lady, the detective, sergeant, whatever she is, Jennifer Faustina? No, Faustina's a saint. Falmina, I think is her name. Testified he went out of frame. Testified he went out of the frame. So how do you know he went into the woods? It's pretty convincing. That's a pretty critical part of this whole story. Jumps off the roof, runs to the woods, stashes the gun. Comes out of the woods, no gun. Different shirt. How long did that take? I mean, I measured it. It's about 100 meters down there to the wood line, to the chicken coop from where he came out of on the street. So let's assume he's not a world-class sprinter, because a world-class sprinter can cover 100 meters in about 10 seconds. This is a guy who supposedly is carrying a 43-inch long Mauser 98. He's in tennis shoes, jeans, and a shirt, certainly not what Olympic sprinters are wearing. He's not coming out of blocks. He's not running on even terrain. He's running through grass and trees. You can call it 45 seconds to get there. Then he's got to stash the gun, roll it up, put it in the bushes, change clothes. Another 2 minutes, maybe. So we're at 2:45. If he comes back on frame, that should be like 3.5 minutes later, right? Give or take. Maybe 3 if he's super fast. So do they have him coming back on camera? If so, was it 3 minutes later? And was he wearing different clothes and he didn't have his gun anymore? Something tells me they know the answer to that question. And the reason they cut the footage off before he crossed the street, before you saw him take a right, before you saw him go across the street, before you saw him take a left, wherever he went, I think there's a reason they cut that footage off. I went back and watched all this week. This is what I did. This is what I do. I go back and I watch all this and I say, why are they cutting there? 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 He walks up to the street and they cut it. Why? Obviously doesn't fit their narrative. So I'm gonna anticipate he did not go to the woods. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he did not go to the woods. And that's why they cut the footage right there. I think they saw him. I think they saw him continue on wherever he was headed. Maybe he took a left and went up towards the library. I don't know. Maybe he crossed the street and went into the neighborhood. Maybe he did go right and get off the frame. But why wouldn't they have shown you that? If that's what happened, why didn't they show you that? Do you remember the footage very early on? It came from Phil Lyman's aunt's house. Phil Lyman's aunt's house. It's the footage that had Tyler walking down, I think it's 800 North, I think is the name of the street, maybe 850, something like that. But he's walking down the street and he's limping. And he kind of crosses the street right in the front of Phil Lyman's mom's house and he continues on and then he goes out of frame. Well, he doesn't really go out of frame. He actually goes to the end of the frame and stops once again. He's always stopping, waiting, talking. I don't know what he's doing. He's the stoppingest criminal I've ever seen. Most criminals have a mission. They're going in, they're coming out. Not this guy. Not this guy. This guy's hanging around, stopping at the top of a parking lot structure for a minute, stopping at the end of a driveway for some unknown reason after being caught on camera. Stopping on the roof for 10 or 15 minutes for God knows what. We have no idea what he was doing if he was operating alone. Charlie Kirk was already on stage. What are you waiting on, big boy? You're here to release the boom switch. Let's get going. What are we waiting on? The only thing that's going to happen for 15 minutes is you're going to get caught. You're going to get caught. That's the only thing that can happen. There's no upside to hanging around unless you're not alone. Unless you're not alone. But do you remember that footage where he's walking and he limps? Well, after the event, I think they had it at 12:29 on their timestamp. You see somebody scampering behind the houses across the street. He's in full black. He's in black top, black bottom, or maybe dark blue bottom. But he's, jeans or black pants or blue pants and a black top. And he's scampering through back there. 12:29. Now we're told at 12:24 and a half, he comes down off the roof. And then he walks out to the street, Falmina tells us he goes into the woods. She doesn't see him on camera. He leaves the camera frame, but she's confident he went to the woods. Because that's where they found the gun, of course. Went right to the woods. And then he's got to change clothes. He's got to now he's got to scamper back behind there, and he's still wearing black. If he changed clothes, why is he scampering behind Phil Lyman's neighbor's house in all black? You tell me he changed clothes into exactly what he was wearing before? Well, this black T-shirt is going to be suspicious. Let me put on this black T-shirt. They'll never suspect me. That was a weird choice of. It was a weird choice of clothing change. You might as well have saved the time and not done it. And so the narrative already begins to break down. You'll notice they did not introduce any of that footage at the preliminary hearing. Him limping in, him scampering away. They didn't put any of that in there. They told us about it. They told us about it, but they didn't introduce it. Because if you introduce it, you can start asking questions. You remember after the event? After the event. Well, first, let me go back to the change of clothes. They're confident he changed clothes over by the gun. They testified he changed clothes back there. But what did he put on? Did he go back to maroon? He goes back to maroon like everybody else there that day, apparently. They all wearing maroon. Or did he go back to a long sleeve black shirt? What did he put on? Why can't they tell us? But you remember after the event, Officer Bagley testified he had a gut feeling that the shot must have come from the Losi Center. So he races over to the Losi Center as racy as a guy his size can be, frankly. Not a very racy looking individual. But he races to the Losi Center. He climbs the Losi Center. Dadgum body-worn camera footage just fails. It just dies at the most inconvenient time because, lo and behold, he was just about to discover the only thing that ties Tyler Robinson to the roof, which is the red and black screwdriver. Now, we didn't learn about the red and black screwdriver until September 15th. Now, on September 11th, when we first heard about the screwdriver, it was in the bushes. By the 15th, it had migrated. It had flown through space. It had violated space-time continuum, and it had made its way to the roof. That's where Kash Patel tells us it was located. But then we looked at footage from Life is Driving, and we saw there were like 4 other cops on the roof. Did any of them have body-worn camera footage on? If so, where is their footage? Why can't we see their footage? Surely somebody captured this amazing screwdriver discovery. Surely somebody walked over. Surely Bagley was like, yo, Smith, get over here. Take a load of this. You telling me he bagged it and tagged it himself? He discovers it, and his body-worn camera footage just happened to have died? And then he made sure everybody stayed back at a safe distance, and then he made sure to take care of all the evidence himself with no cameras rolling, and only then would he allow other people to approach the area? Is there anybody at all who has body-worn camera footage that can show me that screwdriver on the roof? Because I don't believe it was there. I don't believe they found it there. I think the initial reports are accurate. There might have been a screwdriver near the bushes, because I think that was going to be the original story, is that the screwdriver was found with the bushes. They needed something else with his DNA on it. Something else to put the gun together. They had to have the story compact. Speaking of body-worn camera footage, there was an Officer Goforth. He did not testify. Again, no one testifies in this thing. Officer Goforth didn't testify, but someone said that Officer Goforth had encountered Tyler Robinson at 12:36 a.m. near Campus Drive. And at 12:36 a.m. on Campus Drive, when he makes this initial contact, something's off and he feels a little weird. So this trained officer, rather than looking at the license plate and writing down the entire license plate number, just writes down part of it. Even though he felt like something was weird, he doesn't detain the weird guy. He doesn't get the weird guy's entire license plate. He just writes down part of it. Did he have body-worn camera footage rolling? Can we see Tyler Robinson in the body-worn camera footage? Can we have him turn? Does he turn and show as he's approaching the car? Does he show the license plate at all? Can we go back and look and make sure that was the same Tyler Robinson, the same Dodge Challenger? It's a weird encounter. I think it's designed solely to put Tyler Robinson in that location at that time. Because then 9 to 11 minutes later, I can't remember if it was 9 or 11 minutes later, that's when Miss Nobles picks him up on the Nest doorbell footage camera. And on the Nest doorbell footage camera, there's a bald guy and 3 passengers. That's what she said in her statement. So why did she think she saw a bald man and 3 passengers? And why haven't we asked her? Why wasn't she testifying? Why don't we have her statement? Why won't she give a statement? I know multiple people have tried to contact her. She's as friendly as the day is long until you tell her that you'd like some information, and then she hangs up on you. Why? Why not just be honest? It goes back to the Brett Weinstein comment. If Tyler Robinson did it, what's up with the cover-up? Why are we locking down all the evidence? Why are we trying to jimmy things around a little bit to where you can't tell exactly what's going on, and you just got to trust us, bro. We don't want to see him go out of the. We know he went to the woods, but we can't see him go to the woods. Well, can you at least roll the camera footage for like 10 more seconds so we can see which direction he walked? It wouldn't make sense to me that if he went to the woods, he would have come out that way. In a minute, I'll pull up a map and I'll show you why I say that. But if you're going to the woods, why are you running to a dadgum highway first? You just killed a man. You're holding a gun. You're going to run out to a busy intersection instead of just walking behind some buildings and then crossing the street when no one's looking? You're going to go stand by the side of the road instead of going down a little bit further down. It just doesn't make sense. It is almost as if he did not go to the woods, and they know it. I'm telling you right now, if he crosses that street, he did not go to the woods. He didn't go to the woods. Because if he crossed the street to go to the woods, he would have to walk down the busy street rather than walk behind the buildings and come out and then go to the woods. I'll show you that map in a second. You'll look at it and you'll say, boy, that story doesn't make sense, does it? This is a guy who spent at least a week plotting this. He was going to take the secret to his grave. He had it all planned out. He had a drop point and everything. And his plan was to jump off a 15-foot building, hopefully not get hurt, and then scurry to a busy highway where he's going to walk down the road with a gun in his hand? Are you out of your... That's the story we're told? I think the reason they cut the story, the screen off is because he did not go right. He did not go into the woods. That's my guess. That's my gut instinct. Again, I rewatched every time they introduced video testimony, I pulled all the video down. I watched it all. And I kept asking myself, why did they cut it there? Why did they cut it there? Why did they cut it there? Every time they cut something, it was to hide the fact that he did not do what they said he was about to do, or he did something that they don't want you to know he did. I promise you that's a fact. We'll find out. As long as Tyler Robinson can stay alive, we'll find out. At trial. But it may be a year or two. But I'm going to uphold my end of the bargain. If he gets on that roof and communicates with nobody, I'll donate $1,000 to TPUSA. I might add it. If he turns right and doesn't cross the street, I'll add another $1,000. That's the only way he would be going to the woods. He would not be crossing the street to go to the woods. You remember the pre-admission note that Lance Twiggs said that Tyler Robinson drafted? That he saw the note at 11 p.m. He lifted up Tyler's keyboard. Lo and behold, there's a note under the keyboard. I don't know if it's taped to the keyboard or just placed under the keyboard, but he lifts up the keyboard. He sees the note. He reads the note. Lance Twiggs' testimony is he puts the note down. He cannot remember what he doesn't know if he ever saw it again. We later learned the note allegedly was burned. This alleged note allegedly was burned. We saw the ashes. But we also saw a picture of it, a picture of the note. And one of the strangest pre-admission note sagas in criminal history, somebody wrote out an admission before they committed the crime, detailing that they were at least going to be involved in the crime, if not do it themselves. Left the note to be found, got away with the crime, and still alerted the person to look at the note. And then the person who receives the note doesn't know what happened in the note. But he took a picture of the note. Because what person would not immediately take a picture of the note and then not preserve the note? Wouldn't it make more sense? Imagine if you were living with a roommate in college or after college or in your single life and your roommate confesses to some crime and there's the note. Maybe you pick up the phone and call the police. I don't know. Maybe you, but don't you make sure you know what the note is? Like the note, you would think the note's going to be a pretty big deal. You just go put the note down and walk off and like go sweep the floor. I spilled some animal crackers in the kitchen. That note will be there for a while. It's not going anywhere. You get the animal crackers swept up. You think, oh, I got to take out the trash. The trash is full. You dump the dustbin into the trash. You tie off the hefty sack. You throw it over your shoulder. You walk it out to the bin. Throw it in the bin. You walk back in. You think, oh, man, there's a light out in the kitchen. Hey, you walk into the utility room. You get a 60 watt. You look up there, go, that's 100 watt. Walk back into the utility room. Get a 100 watt. Walk in, put the light in. Yeah, that looks good. What was I doing? I can't remember. I'm going to go to bed. It's getting late. I know I slept till 1 o'clock. I haven't done anything all day. But I'm going to go to bed. This whole murder thing's a little weird for me. I'm going to sleep it off. No, nothing about that makes sense. You wouldn't take a picture of it. You would preserve the note. You would preserve the note. I would think you would immediately put it in a Ziploc bag, or you put it in a book that you knew where it was on the shelf. You would hide the note. You would preserve the note. You wouldn't just leave it on the desk and say, I don't know what happened to the note. There's a picture of it, though. I thought it was important enough to take a picture of it. The reason I bring up the note is when we showed the note, or when they showed the note had a date on it. The file name had a date on it. It was September 15th. Was the picture taken on September 15th? Because if the picture was taken on September 15th, it was actually two different file names. There was a date on the left-hand side and another date on the right-hand side embedded into the file name. If there were two different file names or two different date identifiers on that picture, and both of them said September 15th, what day do you think that picture was taken? And the reason I raised the issue is the police supposedly raided their place the next night. Wouldn't they have found the note? Or found the ashes of the note? And wouldn't the metadata on his phone when he shows the picture, wouldn't it say September 10th, 11 p.m. when he took the picture, or maybe 1 a.m. on September 11th when a couple hours later, he's like, I need to take a picture of that. What does the September 15th mean? We don't know because they weren't cross-examined on the September 15th. I was a little disappointed in that. And then who burned the note? Lance said he never saw the note again. Are we to believe Tyler came home and burned the note? Of all the things he was worried about in the moment, he burns the note. But then while he's in there burning a note in his house, Lance doesn't remember it. I mean, I would remember if somebody set a fire in my house while I was there, right? Wouldn't you? But Lance doesn't remember he burnt the note because he never saw the note again. He doesn't know what happened to the note. Well, I would say, I know what happened to it. He burned it when he got home. He went, immediately found the note and burned it. This is evidence I committed a crime. I didn't get rid of this. You didn't take any pictures of that, did you? I mean, you think you'd have a conversation about the note? The note's what kicked the whole thing off. No, not these guys. So who burned the note? When did they burn the note? The note's important because the note would have DNA on it, the type of ink that was used. You would be able to do a handwriting analysis. How hard did you push down? Was it actually a note? Was it some AI program that you printed off that was designed to look like a note because you fed in Tyler Robinson's handwriting and said, now craft me a note that says this? Speaking of people we should have heard from, we never got a dead body in the preliminary hearing. We never saw a dead body. Now, I'm not suggesting I want to see his dead body. Don't get me wrong. It's not the point I'm making. But the point I'm making is they're sending this guy to trial for his life. His life is on the line. You want me to believe he killed Charlie Kirk. What's the one thing, the most important thing you got to prove? Not that he pulled the trigger. That's not the most important thing in a murder investigation. You got to show me somebody died. Should be the easiest part of a murder investigation. I saw that dead body. It was it was cold. I'm the doctor who pronounced him dead. I'm the medical examiner who sliced him and diced him on the autopsy. I'm the officer who was in the room when they did the autopsy. I identified him, and then I watched the autopsy. He's dead as a wedge. We never got that. We never heard from anybody who saw Charlie Kirk's dead body. Not one person. Not one person. You have an emergency room physician who would be overseeing the emergency room when Tyler Robinson came in. You have Dr. Lee Trotter, who's a plastic surgeon, not an emergency room physician. So that's at least 2 doctors who should have been able to sit up there and say, I saw the dead body. I was there when it was called. Maybe the nurses or the staff coming in and out, maybe they would be. I mean, that's probably not your best witness. I would think the guy who called the death would be a pretty good witness. We have a medical examiner. We're told there was a Sergeant Barrett present at the examination. We don't know who that is. We can't find a Sergeant Barrett. Sergeant Barrett's a ghost. Sergeant Barrett, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't exist. We'll get to that in a second. But, why did nobody who interacted with Charlie Kirk's dead body testify that he's dead? Nobody. Instead, we got a cop who never saw Charlie Kirk, alive or dead. Name's David Hull. And David Hull he refreshed his recollection using a paragraph off of a medical examiner's report, where the medical examiner report said that he was dead, and that he died from a gunshot wound, homicide due to a gunshot wound. Originally, Hull said murder, and then they were like, no, it doesn't actually say that. You can't make stuff up. Well, we're making so much else up here, and I didn't think it'd really matter. Putting a little literary flourish on it, you know what I mean? Adding a little color. Make it a little purple. That was too boring. It was just a sea of beiges and creams. I decided to add some spice. I'm using the word murder. No, you can't say that, sir. You can't say that. You got to tell us what's in the report. But I thought that was interesting. This guy's on trial for his life, and not a single person who interacted with Charlie Kirk's dead body was there to say he dead. He did not make it. He did not make it. Those are some of the questions I had. Those are just a few of the questions I had. That's not even all of them. But the biggest questions of all surround the cuts on the video. And I'm here to tell you right now, I've watched a lot of these cases over the years. I've been involved in cases. I've never in my life seen something like this where they trim video footage. Play the video. Play the video footage. What are we waiting on? It's a probable cause hearing on murder. Play the video. Show me the 15 minutes he's on the roof. What's he doing? Show him either turn right and go towards the woods or cross the street and not go to the woods. Where did he go? Where did he go? I said Barrett, not Barron. I was not in Utah on September 10th. I was comfortably in Middle Tennessee, this very desk when everything went down. I wasn't on the phone with his security staff like Ben Shapiro and maybe Tim Pool or their teams. No, my friends. I was just here. Learning like the rest of you. Refreshing websites, going to X, going to message boards, looking for anything I could find for information. I'll show you what I'm talking about on this 9/15 date real fast. Daisy was kind enough to find this while we were yammering around. It might not be the clearest thing you've ever seen because it's faint, but trust me, it's there. You see that right there on the top right? You see my mouse moving in this white margin up here on the right? There's a series of digits. There's something that some 4-letter word, and then not 4-letter word like an ugly word, but just 4-letter MAGE, I think is what it says. And then there's an underscore, and this says 2025 09. And it looks to me like 15 or 16. So to me, that's 2025, the years, 09, the month, and then either the 15th or the 16th right there. But when you come over here on the left-hand side, all the way to the left, see this right here? It says 9/15/25, 1:08 p.m. So what are these two series of numbers? What are these two series of numbers? Because I would at least have liked some cross-examination on what those numbers mean. Because if that picture was taken on September 15th, Tyler Robinson didn't do this. He's being framed. Period. End of story. If either of those two numbers means that the picture was taken on that day, Tyler Robinson's being framed. because Tyler Robinson was in custody by that time, and the note has been burned. How'd you take a picture of a note after the note's burned? Who burned the note? It would not make sense for anyone to have burnt the note at that point. So I want to know what that 9:15 means. Now, about the medical examiner not testifying, it was a little. There's a little. I don't know what the right word is. Now, let me play this. Let me show this instead. Go down to page 18 of this filing, paragraph 2. This is the defendant's motion to vacate or continue the preliminary hearing pending discovery. So it's a discovery dispute. In other words, you haven't given us everything we need in order to adequately prepare for the preliminary hearing. And the state's response typically was nana boo-boo. I mean, that's basically all they said every time is, we don't have to do anything for you. We don't like you. We don't love you. We don't care for you. We're not going to show you anything. So hush, hush. But let me make it big enough so you can see it. I want to show you why this is important that we didn't hear from somebody who had something to do with his dead body. This is the defense's filing. For instance, at the March 12, 2026 meeting. So this is 6 months and 2 days after Charlie Kirk's passed away. The state indicated that it intended to introduce the autopsy report into evidence without any supporting expert testimony. So 6 months and 2 days later, they're like, oh yeah, when we go to the preliminary hearing, we're just going to file some paperwork. You're not going to have anything you're not going to have anybody to cross-examine. You're not going to be able to look at it. We're just going to put it in and you can get over it. The autopsy report, completed on September 16th, 2025, was not produced to the defense until November 13, 2025. The autopsy photographs taken on September 10, the day he passed away, were not produced to the defense until March 18, 2026. Let me key in on this line right here. The autopsy photographs were taken on September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk died on September 10th, 2025. You remember we showed you on September 11th news camera footage from outside the medical examiner's office in Taylorsville, Utah, which is just south of Salt Lake City. There were news camera footage there, and they had been posted up since before 5 a.m., and they were there continuously until after 5 p.m. They were there for 12 hours, and they never saw the body leave. No one ever saw the body leave, which was a little bit of a shock at the time because we know he left the hospital. There was a parade of cars that included a medical examiner, a mortuary transport service, the family, and others. There was like a parade of, 10 or 20 cars. And they all left Timpanogos Hospital in Orem, Utah at 8 p.m. And they headed to Taylorsville. You got to drive to Taylorsville. You're in a train of cars. You got to turn into the office there in Taylorsville. You got to back the transport van up to the door. You got to get, 6 grown men to carry him out and put him on a stretcher and then wheel the stretcher in. And now you got to prepare the body. You got to get your team assembled, your team together. You got to identify everything. They were already doing this before midnight. All the photographs were done before midnight. Now, keep in mind, autopsy photographs are not just of the body beforehand. If you've ever seen a series of autopsy photographs, it is all during the autopsy, particularly around the wound inspection, and you might have x-rays, you might have all kinds of stuff. All completed before midnight, according to this paragraph right here. That seems awfully fast to me. I challenge the state of Utah to show me another example of an autopsy that was completed within 11 hours and 37 minutes of someone dying. Charlie Kirk was taken down at 12:23. I don't believe he was declared dead for like an hour or two. So from the time he's declared dead, we'll call it 2 o'clock, 2:30, 1:30 to 2:30, somewhere in there. From the time he's declared dead until all of the autopsy photographs that were taken were finished was like 10 hours. And we know he didn't leave Timpanogos Hospital for like 6 of those 10 hours. What the hell was the rush? Why were you in such a hurry? Air Force Two did not arrive to Salt Lake City until 3:30 p.m. Or maybe it was later than that. Why was it so important to have the autopsy done before midnight? I take you back to the Sean Ryan show. I'm going to come back to this in just a second. So I'm going to pull it down for a second. I take you back to the Sean Ryan show. Something happened with his autopsy, and it was unusual. How do I know that? Because anything they emphasize usually means they're lying. And that's been my experience in this from the beginning. We emphasize the necklace. Something's going on with that necklace. I think there's information coming out about that necklace in the very near future. And it will show that Erika Kirk is not wearing the same necklace. Why? Why? Why is she wearing a different necklace? Why is she wearing a necklace at all if it's not Charlie's necklace? The necklace she's wearing has changed from the one she was wearing immediately in the aftermath. Why? Why? And I'm just telling you right now, that's a fact. And I can prove it. That is not the same necklace. Why? Something was done to that necklace. I'm tempted to spill the beans right now. I'm not going to. There's a characteristic on the necklace that has changed. And that characteristic indicates that it's not the same necklace. That's all I'll say for right now. That's not a statement I make just out of the blue. There's evidence behind that. Anyone pushing FedSlop needs to ask her, what's up with the necklace? Did you change the necklace in any way since the day Charlie died? What did you change? Because I'm going to tell them eventually what was changed and see if she lies to you first. Those of you who are in and around her, ask her, has anything changed on that necklace since the day you got it? When did it change? Because we have documented proof of it, so I'm just curious what she says. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked. Anything they emphasize, they're lying about. Mikey McCoy, the general, he's the admiral. Mikey McCoy was standing strong. He was ordering people around. You, here. I need 2 planes. I need 5 cars. I need 6 hotel rooms. I need a bald guy and 3 passengers. I don't know what he was ordering, but he was ordering something. That's what they told us. The reality was, after you talk to people in the room, he was a mess. He was a wilted flower. He was absolutely broken. He was unable to do anything. He was basically in the fetal position. And we did get a little picture of Charlie Kirk's body leaving the funeral home in Draper, Utah, and everybody else was kind of carrying the body, and Mikey McCoy was curled up on a chair. He looked terrible. So they emphasized Mikey McCoy's greatness. They were lying about it. So anything, they emphasized the necklace. They were lying about it. Something happened to that necklace. It's a different, there's a different characteristic on that necklace. And when we roll that story out, you'll understand what I'm saying. And you'll go, whoa, that's gross. What happened? What is going on here? Why did that happen, by the way? Another thing they emphasized. You remember the CPR? Oh, yeah, I was doing CPR. Well, I wasn't really doing CPR. I might have like tapped him on the chest a few times right before he rolled up. Well, were you doing CPR or not? They're lying about it. Oh, Rick, he was holding on to me for dear life. Oh, Rick Cutler. He had the tattoo, you know. So I was confident he was going to hold me and I could just work. Okay. You're lying about it. You're emphasizing it. You're lying about it. Another thing they emphasized was the autopsy. Brian Harpole on Sean Ryan, told the doctor, oh, the guy says, is there anything we can get for you? Well, there's one thing we can need. I don't want this to turn into some JFK thing where there's a question about anything. We need an autopsy. Oh, gosh, that's what we need. Well, as soon as he emphasizes the autopsy, my spidey sense goes off. I think, something wrong with his autopsy. Something's all terrible with his autopsy. We got a problem with the autopsy. The more I learn about the autopsy, the more problems I see with it. They don't give us the pictures. Not me. I don't want to see them, but put them in evidence. Let the judge look at them. They don't bring in a medical examiner. They don't bring in anybody who was in the room when they did the autopsy. And now we learn the autopsy was done before midnight. All the pictures were taken before midnight. They were all dated September 10th. Because if they were taken on September 11th, she would have said in this motion, the autopsy photographs taken on September 10th and 11th. I think it shocks most people to learn they were taken on the 10th at all. You started the autopsy before midnight? No, friends. They completed the autopsy before midnight. So they took these photos on September 10th, but they did not hand them over to the defense until March 18th, 2026. Well, this is the year 2026. You know what you can do with autopsy photographs in 6 months? I mean, I could take a picture of myself and my kids right now, and I could fairly convincingly make them look like anything. I could put scars on their faces. I could have their hair changed into all different things. I could put birthmarks across their foreheads. I could, have them missing an arm, maybe mangle an ear, and it would be very convincing. If you give me 6 months, I could do that in 6 hours. You give me 6 months, I can create anything I need to create. So why did it take them 6 months to get the pictures over? I'll let her continue. I don't want to get bogged down on this. With the report and the photographs, the defense is now in a position to provide an independent pathologist, so they want to hire their own expert, with some of the discovery tools necessary to conduct an independent evaluation of the autopsy. In other words, did they do everything they were supposed to do? Did they do it correctly? And did they conclude the right thing? It is anticipated in the course of that evaluation, the expert will identify an additional information that must be requested from the state. For example, competent forensic pathologists typically request that tissue samples be prepared and examined as part of a thorough forensic autopsy. Read that again, and then I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to tell you what I see in there, because my lawyer eyes are reading between lines. For example, competent forensic pathologists typically request that tissue samples be prepared and examined as part of a thorough forensic autopsy. What do you think Ms. Nestor's saying? Do you think there are any tissue samples that were prepared and examined before midnight? Do you think they were? Do you think they still exist? Do you think the defense is going to get access to any of that? Doesn't sound like it. It sounds to me, no, not Kleenex, tissue, body. They'll typically take some bile. They'll take some heart tissue. They'll take some blood. They'll take some urine. Maybe some tissue, I don't know, around the wound or what. I don't know. I'm not a competent forensic pathologist. But the inclusion of that line, when she's already raising the issue in here that something's gone terribly awry, that this thing looked really rushed. Within 10 hours of him being declared dead, he was already kind of sewn back up and shipped out of the ME's office, is kind of what it sounds like. Now, I'm going to make a prediction. I think the autopsy was done on September 10th, completed. I don't think it went over into the 11th. When we were doing our timeline, and I'll go through it in just a second, we were doing our timeline of where could Charlie Kirk's body be. in my mind, I was sort of thinking the forensic examination might have ended at 3 or 4 in the morning. And I'm not so sure anymore. If all the pictures were taken on September 10th, and if the defense is sort of cueing the judge to, hey, I'm not sure a competent forensic pathologist performed this, because competent forensic pathologists typically request tissue samples be prepared and examined as part of a thorough forensic autopsy. And it sounds like we didn't get any evidence of that or any record of that when we received the autopsy on November 13th and the autopsy photographs on March 18th. Sounds like Ms. Nestor might not believe that it was done properly. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I read a line like that and I think, oh boy, Tyler is in a lot of danger. He is in a lot of danger. This case can't go to trial. You're going to convince 12 people that if the autopsy was done correctly within 10 hours of him being declared dead? Really? What is this, CSI Miami? That's not how the world works, people. That's not how the world works. They get the body by 8:30 or 9, and they're like done by 10, by midnight? No. Stop it. You can't tell me that. Now, we might learn when the autopsy report is produced that they didn't finish until 3 or 4 in the morning, and they did a competent examination, and there were tissue samples preserved. And, oh, I'm sorry, defense, I didn't know you wanted to look at them. Well, here's where they're stored, and here's where you can get pictures of them, and here's where you can get descriptions of them. Well, what else do you need? But it doesn't sound like that's the way it's going. Doesn't sound like that's the way it's going, because if the autopsy didn't end until well after midnight, the pictures would not have all been dated September 10th. I think it was done by then. That's weird. That is weird. And if it was done by then, was it done at all? I mean, honestly. Because the only other person we're told was in the room with, the only other name we know that was in the room was a Sergeant Barrett with the State Bureau of Investigation. Do I have that somewhere? Thought I did. I'll have to find it. Trust me. David Hull, investigator David Hull, the lead investigator on this case, on day 2, testified that the autopsy was observed by a Sergeant Barrett of the State Bureau of Investigation. We cannot find one. We cannot find. Is that where it is? No, that's it. Oh, it's highlighted below. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, we'll get to it. We can't find Sergeant Barrett. There's one Sergeant Barrett in Utah that we're able to find, and she's a traffic cop. Did you guys send a traffic cop into the autopsy of Charlie Kirk, probably the most high-profile political assassination since JFK, RFK? You guys send in somebody who pulls people over and writes tickets? That's the person you've chosen to observe? You've got the FBI involved. You have the State Bureau of Investigation involved. And you send in a traffic cop. Now, maybe she's not a traffic cop anymore, but as of late 2024, she was. It just seems weird to me. Something's weird. Something's weird. So let's go back to the timeline. Real quickly. We have the medical examiner arriving at Timpanogos Hospital, 5:40 p.m.
Gooby, who is at the hospital. Michael, I understand that we're seeing some new vehicles to arrive.
You're right, Robin. We've just seen 2 Office of the Medical Examiner's vehicles come into Timpanogos Regional Hospital.
There it is. There's your timestamp at the lower right-hand side. There's your vehicle, right dead square in the middle. 5:40 p.m. Office of the Medical Examiner arrives. So you know he's dead. But they'd already announced that. President announced it. Netanyahu announced it. Jack Hibbs announced it and deleted it. Victor Marks announced it and deleted it. He's dead. Like that's the idea we're being given. And then we had the reporter who's like, well, I've been around these parts a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I know precisely how things work here in Utah. It's late today. They're not going to be doing any dadgum autopsying tonight.
Come in through the doors behind us. And, you know, in death, basically, we're all equal, in particular, a homicide. This is going to require a full investigation combined with an autopsy. And given the lateness of the day today, this likely is not going to happen tomorrow.
Well, I got bad news for you, Buttercup. It happened. Well, we're told it happened. Same day service. Man, it's like Doris Day. It's like Doris Day. Same day service. Not going to make her wait. Now, then we had the video footage of the motorcade with the medical examiner and the transport company transporting the body to the medical examiner's office. It left at 7:57 p.m. There's a timestamp on that video. So we think it's going to Taylorsville. We're looking 8:30, 8:40, maybe 8:45 it arrives. And now we're told all the pictures were done on September 10th, indicating the autopsy must have been completed before midnight. That timeline doesn't add up. Do you guys remember there was a police scanner that questioned whether or not there would be an autopsy at all? You remember this? I'm going to play this for you. Oh, no, don't want to click that button. You remember this right here, this police scanner audio?
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a clip documenting that?
I'm sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add a step to the case documenting that there was no autopsy? Yeah.
287, I'll be clear to the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got off the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to signature and to bring in a car over here for a treatment.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay. I'm a little confused because that's what Corey just said. They said they were landing at Duncan, so I don't know where they're landing, but we will just kind of play it by ear, I guess, best that we can.
Give the guy full credit there at the end. I'm not going to say his name, but that's his handle on X. So you had at least before 3:30, and we know it's before 3:30 because that's when his wife landed. So before 3:30, somebody here at the emergency room bay on the police scanner, presumably a police officer, says, hey, they're not going for an autopsy. They're just going to sign the death certificate. I mean, unusual in a homicide, certainly. Certainly. We'll look at the Utah law in a second and see could they even do that. It'd be very unusual. And under what circumstances could you waive an autopsy or not do an autopsy? But they, at least that person at that time, that police officer, and I'm not one of these people who believe cops just get on the radio and they're like, yeah, we're just making stuff up over here. 10-4. Yeah, no autopsy. Hey, guys, I told them there's not going to be an autopsy. Watch this. No, they're just going to sign the death certificate. Yeah, they just told them they're going to sign the death certificate. Ah! They're going to get a kick out of that when they play it on Twitter in 10.5 months. They're going to love that. Oh, man, that's going to send them for a spiral. Yeah, seriously, no autopsy. Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. Yeah, sure, but yeah, there were not going to be one. I told them there wasn't going to be one. Oh, my gosh. I would believe that officer was informed by somebody that there wasn't going to be an autopsy. They're just going to sign the death certificate. Well, my guess is whoever told him that was like, no, you idiot. You weren't supposed to say that. Now we got to go freaking do an autopsy. My goodness. Or at least we got to cook one up real fast. We'll have it done by midnight, sir. Oh, yeah, we'll just cut a Y in his chest and send him on. It'll be great. Yeah, maybe we'll do the little, Hannibal thing where we take the top of his head off. But trust me, we're not going to take too long. He'll be back by midnight. We're good. We're good. I don't think that cop made that up. I don't think cops just make stuff up and then shoot it out over police radio. But I'm old school. Let's do a little lawyering, shall we? Everybody says we just make stuff up. No, let's just look at the law. Let's go into the Utah Code and find out, when does the medical examiner get jurisdiction over a dead body? Because we have a code section, believe it or not. Most things are dictated by code sections. This is fresh out of the Utah Code, effective 5/1/2024, meaning in the year of our Lord, 2024. 26B-8-205, jurisdiction over of the medical examiner. Upon notification under section 26B-8-206 or investigation by the medical examiner's office, the medical examiner shall assume jurisdiction over a deceased body if it appears that death, 1, was by violence, gunshot, suicide, or accident. Okay. Well, there we go. So we have a shall, meaning that the legislature has not given discretion to anyone in this situation. If there is a death by gunshot, if the investigation by the medical examiner's office concludes that it was by gunshot, then the medical examiner shall assume jurisdiction, meaning who had jurisdiction over Charlie Kirk's body? They were told it was a gunshot. Therefore, the medical examiner has jurisdiction. Does the jurisdiction mean they have to do an autopsy? I was told the other day the answer to that question was yes. I took it at face value, and I operated for almost a week. I think it was Wednesday I was told that. I was told by somebody that, and I'm not knocking the person for not knowing the answer to this, but I was told by somebody who I thought knew that absolutely jurisdiction rested in the medical examiner if it was by gunshot, and there had to be an autopsy. So I've been operating that way all week. And then I decided, you know what? There's got to be law on this. You can't just, it's not like a gentleman's agreement. You don't just shake hands. No, you got to write this down. It has to be voted on by a bicameral body of the legislature of the state of Utah, signed into law by the governor, enforced by the executive branch. Let's look it up. Do they have to do an autopsy? Well, I found the code section. You remember we were just in 26B-8-205. That's where the medical examiner got custody. So we look for any code section that cross-references that, and we find one. Investigation of deaths, requests for autopsies. The following have authority to investigate a death described in section 26B-8-205 and any other case that may be within the jurisdiction. But we don't have to worry about the and because we have a gunshot. That was this right here, 26B-8-205, parent 1. That's the gunshot. So this is us. We're in the right section. Now, who has the authority to investigate the death? The Attorney General of the great state of Utah, the Beehive State. They have authority to investigate the death, or an assistant attorney general. So anybody who's designated by the attorney general as an assistant attorney general, they can investigate a death. The district attorney or county attorney who has criminal jurisdiction over the death case. This situation would be the county attorney of the county of Utah. What was his name? Gray? Jeff Gray? He has criminal jurisdiction over the death. A deputy district attorney or county attorney. Okay. Roger that. So any of the deputies that are on any of these filings, they could investigate a death. They have authority to investigate a death. Or a peace officer within the jurisdiction. Okay. So any peace officer in the Utah County could investigate a death. All right, solid. What does that tell us about an autopsy? Well, not much. So we go to sub 2, 26B-8-204 sub 2. If, this is a big if, when you see an if in a statute, you make a note and you highlight it and you come back to it. If, in the opinion of the medical examiner, okay, we got a medical examiner, now we got an opinion. An autopsy should be performed Okay, so that's our first if. In the opinion of a medical examiner, an autopsy should be performed. All right, so let's hold that in our head. Then we got an or, which means it's either or. Either one of these situations apply. Not both, but either one. Or if an autopsy is requested by the district attorney or county attorney having criminal jurisdiction, or by the attorney general, the autopsy shall be performed by the medical examiner or a regional pathologist. And ladies and gentlemen, you see the word shall, that takes discretion out. That takes discretion out of the equation. Meaning, if in the opinion of the medical examiner, an autopsy should be performed, or that's option A. But let's say the medical examiner says, well, we don't need to do an autopsy here. We shouldn't do an autopsy. It's pretty obvious he died from a gunshot. Let's just call it a day. Okay, that's option A. Option B, if an autopsy is requested by the district attorney, county attorney, or the attorney general. So let's say that none of these apply. That the medical examiner doesn't give a rip, doesn't care, consults with the district attorney or county attorney. I think that's his name's Gray. Or consults with the attorney general, like, should we do an autopsy? And they're like, I don't think so. I mean, pretty obvious he died from a gunshot. They're trying to get him back pretty quickly. Just send him on. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? No autopsy. So the way I read the law in Utah is it is not required. Not required to have an autopsy. And so if you go back to that police scanner, it's not as shocking as when we first heard it. It's not nearly as shocking as when we first heard it. Because when we first heard it, we thought, well, why would you not do an autopsy on a murder victim? Well, and under Utah law, when someone dies of a gunshot wound, the medical examiner gets jurisdiction over the body. And when the medical examiner has jurisdiction over the body, the medical examiner can request an autopsy. But if they don't, then the county attorney, attorney general, or the district attorney? There were three other classes of people. I think it's county attorney or district attorney or attorney general. They don't have district attorney in Utah County, so it's the county attorney or the attorney general. If neither of those people request an autopsy, you don't have to do one. There's no requirement. And it's not left to the discretion of a court. You don't get input from the family. Now, maybe the family could say, whoa, don't dispose of the body. We're going to do an autopsy. We need to figure out what the hell's going on here. I don't know. But while Erika is flying in, because they're saying she's going to land at Signature. We know she landed at 3:30. So this is before 3:30. And now we know in Utah it's possible that they don't have to do an autopsy. Listen to this again and tell me what you make of it.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital. I mean, I can't put him under oath and force him to tell me what happened. I cannot put him under oath. I can't pick up the phone and call them and force them to answer to me. All I can tell you is the defense got autopsy photos that were dated September 10th. We didn't see his body leave until 8 p.m. We were told he went to the medical examiner's office. There's no news organization that saw him go there. There's no news organization that said, I was there. I saw Charlie Kirk's body wheeled into the medical examiner's office. Not one. There's no news organization that says I was there and saw his body come out. So who would know? Well, the only people who would know for sure are Sergeant Barrett. May not even exist. We can't find one. If so, it's some highway patrol gal. She might know. if we could ever figure out who that is. There's no first name given. It just says Sergeant Barrett, State Bureau of Investigation. That's what it says. And I'm here to tell you, we cannot find a Sergeant Barrett of the State Bureau of Investigation. We can find a Sergeant Barrett with the Department of Public Safety, Department of Highway Patrol, the trooper. And I'm sure she's a fine trooper. I'm not knocking her. I don't even think she's part of the story. But there's no reason to contact her or ask her. I assume she's not part of the story. The only way she becomes part of the story is somehow she ended up in that autopsy. So we have a Sergeant Barrett and we have a medical examiner named Guajardo. Where is Guajardo? Guajardo got a new job. Guajardo got a new gig. He's in Poughkeepsie. You've heard of Poughkeepsie? Up by Stewart? Oh, yeah. They got him a new medical examiner in Poughkeepsie. This is for publication March 11, 2026. Dutchess County Executive Sue Serino has appointed Andrew Guajardo, MD, to serve as medical examiner within the county's Department of Health. The Dutchess County Legislature unanimously approved the appointment at its March 9 board meeting. According to Sue Serino, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Guajardo as Dutchess County's new medical examiner. We're grateful he has accepted this important responsibility. I'm confident that his professionalism, experience, and commitment to public service will serve the residents of the community well in his new role. He grew up in the Hudson Valley. He is returning after having served in the Utah Office of Medical Examiner, where he served as the assistant medical examiner starting in 2029 and the deputy medical examiner since 2024. So we're talking about the same Guajardo. I'm interested in this because he's not around to talk to. Not there anymore. Can't stop him and ask him what happened. And because he's so far away, he wasn't able to testify. I don't know whether they would have called him anyway, but they didn't. They didn't call him to testify. So we have the ME arriving at the hospital at 5:40. We have a radio transmission before 3:30 that says, "Hey, the wife is coming in. We're going to get a car for her at Signature Airport or Signature FBO, or a car from Duncan, believe it or not. And then she's flying into Signature, and we'll drive her over here. Oh, and before all this happens, he's not going for an autopsy, and they're just going to sign the death certificate here." Okay. And then we look at the law and we say, well, it wouldn't have been unlawful to do it that way. It would have been unusual, but not unlawful to do it that way. I'll show you where we got Sergeant Barrett's name real quick, just so you don't think we're making this up. We get accused of that from people who can't keep up because they're not high enough IQ to keep up with this program. According to information obtained from the police officer who attended the autopsy, Sergeant Barrett with the Utah State Bureau of Investigation, Dr. Guajardo with the Officer of Medical Examiner, concluded the autopsy and explained he was going to certify Charlie Kirk's cause of death as homicide caused by a gunshot wound. So even on this is a search warrant, by the way. Even on the search warrant, they don't talk to the medical examiner. So the court doesn't talk to the medical examiner. The police officers preparing the search warrant don't talk to the medical examiner. Instead, they talk with Sergeant Barrett of the Utah State Bureau of Investigation. And if you search all the employee records in Utah, there isn't one that we can find. And if it is the one who we thought worked for Highway Patrol, she's brand new to the State Bureau of Investigation because she was at Highway Patrol last year. We got pictures of her working on like car wrecks. I mean, might not be a bad person to attend an autopsy, frankly. I imagine highway patrol people see a lot of autopsies. They've probably been into more than one. I guess. I don't know. I want to cover this real quickly. I know it's late. We'll just boot this to no, it was the title, wasn't it? No, it wasn't the title. I'm going to boot it to tomorrow. Let me just show you. We'll do it quick. We can do things quick around here. We're going to Erika Franzfe's TikTok account. You guys have played on TikTok before, right? Remember the Chinese were going to take over America with TikTok. So they had to get rid of it. She has 764,900 likes or followers. This is E, not Erika. E. Miss Erika Kirk. Daisy noticed something interesting about this. When you retweet something on Twitter, it tells you the date that it was tweeted. So, for example, if I go back to June of 2025 and I hit retweet, it'll show up in my feed today, but at the date, it'll say June of 2025. But TikTok does it differently. On TikTok, they show you the date you reposted it. So on August 20th, Erika Kirk reposts this video. Now you'll notice something weird about this. There's nothing below it. These are the only 6 reposts in her entire account that we could find. And on August 20th, she reposts this. After having never reposted something before that we could find. September 5th, she goes on a repost binge, ladies and gentlemen. Reposting there, and then doesn't repost again until September 25th, following the memorial, and then October 3rd, almost a month after Charlie passed. So what caused her to wake up from her TikTok slumber? Why would Erika Kirk all of a sudden, after not ever reposting TikTok stuff that we could find, wake up one day and say, you know what I ought to do? I've got this dormant social media. My husband's in Korea, Japan. I should probably go dig through some archives. And I should repost it. We have the first thing she reposted. This was the one she reposted on August 20th. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know if it's going to have ads or whatever. I don't think it will. This is the first thing that she reposted.
I love you.
I love you too.
So it's just them walking down the street. And saying they love each other. Why did you repost that on August 20th? Well, this one's even weirder because this was from July 27th. This is from July 27th. Here's one from Fox and Friends. Again, from more than a month before. And it's her kid running up to him there in the distance. I'm cutting these off because I don't want to look at them. They just seem ghoulish to me. The third repost, believe it or not, you'll never guess what this one is. This was on September 5th, 5 days before he died. This is not a reposting fool, Erika Kirk. This is not someone who goes around reposting a lot of things. She reposts Erika's story of meeting Charlie in Israel.
Just know that nothing is by mistake. Nothing. I will never forget the time I was in Israel with my husband. That was the second time, but the first time with my mother on a pilgrimage.
And then she tells the story. And I honestly, I can't watch them. I cannot watch them. I can't watch them. That was one of the 3 that she reposted on September 5th. And then the last one was from May that she reposted on September 5th. And it's Charlie walking.
Hello, TikTok. Today's a very special day. It is our 4-year anniversary.
4 years.
She goes and posts their anniversary. Now, why is she reposting their anniversary announcement from May, but they're doing it on, she's reposting it on September 5th? Very weird. It reminds me of her dormant X account she had. You remember her X account lay dormant since 2023? No posts at all. There was no post on her X account before this post on September 8th at 12:49 p.m. Ephesians 2, 8 and 9. For by grace you've been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. A fine verse. Got no issues with the book of Ephesians. I've got no issues with people posting from the book of Ephesians. I've got no issues with people posting from the book of Ephesians after a dormant period on social media of 2 years. Then there was this the following day, 11:44 a.m., September 9. Oh, taste and see, says the psalmist, that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. I had a preacher tell me one time, you know what the difference between blessed and blessed is? Whether it's in the Bible. Blessed is the man if it's non-biblical. Blessed if it is in the Bible. And then, not to be outdone, her tweeting tirade continued on to September 10th of all days. The day Charlie Kirk passed away, where she posted this about an hour and a half before it happened. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. And it says 11:45 a.m. That was Central Time. Mountain Time, that would have been 10:45. Charlie Kirk passed away at 12:23, or was taken down at 12. So I don't know. Like, why is Erika waking up out of a social media slumber the week Charlie dies? 3 quick reposts on September 5th on TikTok, and then a trio of posts September 8th, 9th, and 10th, all Bible verses on Twitter after not reposting anything ever on TikTok that we can find, and then not posting on Twitter since September of 2023. And all of a sudden, you've got this voracious posting appetite. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. You know, sometimes like dogs know you're about to be home. If you have cameras inside your house, you see this. You're gone for 3, 4, 5 hours. Dog laying on his bed, gets up, stretches, lays down on the floor, gets up, stretches, twirls around 3 or 4 times, lays back down in the bed. That's all it does for 4 hours, 5 hours. And you get ready to come home and you're like 2 miles away. Like, it can't hear your engine. It doesn't know. And all of a sudden it starts scurrying around. It starts twirling around the house. It goes up to the door. It goes, sniffs in the bedroom, walks out into the kitchen, back out to the door. And then you come home and the dog's there to greet you. People with cameras in their homes will tell you about this. It's a known fact. Maybe she just had an intuition that something was about to go terribly awry. I don't have any insight into it, but I do notice the anomaly of it. Just like I noticed the anomaly of the autopsy timeline. Just like I noticed the anomaly of a police officer saying there wasn't going to be an autopsy before 3:30 and that they were just going to sign the death certificate there. He didn't make that up. Police officers get on their little shoulder thing and they tell you what they've been told. They don't just make stuff up. They don't just lie. They don't get on the radio and like, not what happens. I think he was articulating his understanding at that time. He thought there was not going to be an autopsy. He thought that they were just going to sign the death certificate there. And as we discovered, when you look at Utah law, that's a thing. That could happen. I don't know if it happened or not. But when you consider that the autopsy may have been completed before midnight, like 10-ish hours, maybe 9-ish hours even after he was pronounced dead. Ooh, that seems like a really tight timeline to me, especially when he didn't leave the hospital till 8. I don't know. Especially when you look in the motions from the defense team and you say, did they preserve tissue samples? Did they get tissue samples? Tissue samples could be DNA tested. Is that his bile tissue? Is that his heart tissue? Is that his blood? You could test it. Like if you have it, you can test it. I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility for the defense to do that. Crazy things can happen with pictures these days. I could make anyone look like they had an autopsy. Give me 6 months, I'll make it look like you had a good autopsy. Give me a picture of you, your face. I'll autopsy you up real good. And I'm not even that talented. I'm just a bum. But I promise I've got some talented friends, and amongst all of us, we can get together and we could autopsy pictures you up. We could make it look real salty, real gruesome if we need to. I don't know what autopsy pictures look like. I mean, I've seen a few, but not like I have decades of experience looking at autopsy pictures. But I could come up with something. So could anyone else. I mean, it would not be out of the realm of possibility for somebody to come up with something. And then I go to that list of obvious things that could have just put this thing to bed from a probable cause perspective. No need for Benny Johnson, Officer Tater Tot. No need for Agent Poso to come crawling out of the courtroom talking about 4K HD footage. All you have to do is really answer any of those questions I raised today. That's all you have to do. Release unredacted, unclipped footage and show me everything that's going on. Show me there was no signaling from the roof. There was no phone call. There was no checking a watch. There was no listening to an earpiece. I'll donate $1,000 to TPUSA. Show me when he goes to the road, he takes a right. Oh, I was going to show you the map. Show me when he goes to the road, he takes a right and goes to the woods. And he doesn't cross the street, because crossing the street would be ludicrous at that point. It wouldn't even make any sense. I'll pull this up for you and show you why it would be ludicrous. Give me just a moment. I will get right to it. All right. You're wanting to get, let me get it on the right date. There we go, September 10th. You're going to jump off the roof here. And you want to get to the woods. This is the Losi Center roof right here. This is it. This is it on September 10th. Well, a little before it happened, I think. I think it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. We're told he was here-ish, somewhere here-ish. But you want to, he scampers across the roof here. Like, I want to see what's going on up here. All this area up here, you got footage of it. He crawls over this is a little 3-foot roof, the little 3-foot fence line right here. He crawls over that. And he scampers down and he plops down off this corner right here. I'd be curious, because we got a lot of cars right here. Was anyone in any of these cars? We got an eyewitness there who might have seen something. We had other eyewitnesses in various places. These people obviously might not have still been there 2 hours later, but if you watch the video from the FBI, you see different eyewitnesses. Here's somebody here. He probably wasn't still there 2 hours later, but the guy jumps off here and he scampers and he comes up here. Now, he had an option to cut through this parking lot and stay off the beaten path. See this? This is where he's wanting to go, to this chicken coop right here. He could have come behind all this stuff, like get him across the parking lot, and he could have come behind these trees, and he could have been hidden back here, and he could have popped out here, and he could have sat back here under a tree or something and waited until there were no cars either way, and then scurried across the road and not been seen by anyone. That would have been a really smart way to handle it. But instead, we're told he scurries off the roof. He comes up this hill. There's a hill here, I promise, next to this tree. And then comes down and then waits right here on the road for like 10 cars to pass. And then they stop. They stop the video footage. And you could see all the way over to here. Like you could see all the way to here on that video footage. You could see this sidewalk right here. So if he turned right to go to the trees, why is he standing there waiting for cars to pass? Why didn't he just start walking this way? And go down the right side sidewalk right here that's hidden by all these trees? Why did he run out to the street at all? Because it would make no sense whatever to cross the street right there and then have to walk all the way back down here to the chicken coop. But Baron, he wanted to get into the trees there. Okay, why did he hide it right here in the trees? Like right here. If this is where he crossed the street right here, and we saw him pop out between these two bushes, if he crossed the street right here, why didn't he just stop right here and just pluck it under the bushes there and come back and get it later? Why walk it all the way back to the chicken coop? If you're going to walk it all the way back to the chicken coop, why come out here? You see what I'm saying? There's a real problem here because he exposes himself to all these people walking up and down the road, all these people driving up and down the road, and we're told he's in all black holding a 43-inch long Mauser 98 model. That's what we're told. If you're holding a Mauser on a college campus, you usually want to limit the time you're like standing there for traffic to cross. You usually want to keep moving in an area that's not very well seen. But beyond that, that camera picks up the entire side of that driveway. So if he does go and turn right, we should see that. There's no reason for him to have lost. There's no reason for them to have cut the camera with him standing at the road. Because it looked like he was trying to cross the street. And if he's trying to cross the street, I don't think he's going to those woods. I don't know where he went. I don't know where he would have gone. But I mean, I look at this and think, well, if he's standing here, right here between these two trees, I'll back it up slowly with my, if he's standing here and he does cross the street, where does he go? I mean, that's a Utah Valley University-owned building. It's under construction. You see some construction vehicles here out front. You know, looks like some drywall being delivered. So it's got a dumpster out here, a trailer, some sort of truck. There's some trucks across the street there. So, but I don't see anybody out and about working. Got some excavators back here in the back. Got a, what looks like a Toyota 4Runner right there. Got a little trailer, but I don't see any people. But I mean, I think it'd be interesting to see, where does he go? And they didn't show us where he went. And when they cut the camera and they don't show us stuff that we know they have, Spidey sense goes up, and I think they're hiding something. I don't think he went right. That's my guess. It's my gut instinct. I don't think he went right. Because if he went right, they would have shown us he went right. And he can't get to the chicken coop to stash the gun without going right. Why else cut the video? Show him go right. Show him go right. Why cut the video on the roof? Show him put it together. That's a key part of the narrative. He puts the gun together. That's why he has a screwdriver. Screwdriver puts him on the roof. Show him using the screwdriver. Show the whole way in. Show him walk in. How does he get to the edge of the roof? Is he crab walking? Can you see he's carrying a 43-inch long Mauser while he's crab walking? Can you see him crawling with a 43-inch long Mauser, maintaining 0 while it's bouncing off of hot gravel? At some point, he military crawls, they tell us. Can you see the Mauser in his hand? Then they say you see him lie prone. Okay, he lies prone. Does he put a bag down? Can you see him grab the gun at that point and pull? What happens? And why didn't you show us? I think they clipped all that up so that you wouldn't see it. Because there's something on that camera they're hiding from you. And the fact that they're hiding it from you means Tyler Robinson's life is in grave danger. It means he's in grave danger. Because if they're hiding it from you, it means they cannot go to trial. I was on with Diligent Denizen yesterday on his YouTube channel, new channel. And it was a good show. But towards the end of the show, we start talking about, like, if you're the parents, what do you do? If you're the parents of Tyler Robinson, what do you do right? Well, I think they're in possession potentially of 2 pieces of evidence that could really either nail down the Fed slop timeline or destroy it. And those 2 pieces of evidence are the last 4 digits of Tyler Robinson's debit card or the transaction history. Does it show a parking lot purchase? Does it show a purchase at Chick-fil-A? Does it show a purchase at the Cowboys Smokehouse in Panguitch? Is it the same last 4 numbers that are on the receipt? That would be pretty devastating to the Fed slop timeline because it puts them in Panguitch at 9 o'clock at night, close to 10 o'clock at night. But the second piece of evidence they're in custody of that I think would be either solidify the Fed slop timeline or really do damage to it, and I'm prepared to accept the truth, I don't care which it is what time did you turn him in? Because we're told he was turned in after 9 o'clock. That the sheriff of Washington County, Nate Brooksby, did not even know who Tyler Robinson was until 8:02 when he received a phone call that there was a young man who might want to turn himself in for the killing of Charlie Kirk, or related to the killing of Charlie Kirk, we'll say. Well, if that's true, and that's really when he turned himself in, that would really nail down the Fed slop timeline. But if it's not true, and they turned him in much earlier than that, it will destroy the Fed slop timeline. And if the Fed slop timeline on when he was turned in crumbles, the whole case crumbles. Because it reveals a multi-agency cover-up, if that's true. Now, I'm not here to exonerate Tyler Robinson. I'm here to get to the truth. But I can't get to the truth when they're hiding the video. I can't get to the truth when they're not showing us him making his way to the side of the roof, not in the quality of footage that we know they probably possess. I can't know the truth when I don't know if he turns right to go into the woods. And I can't know the truth if I don't know that an autopsy was done properly or at all. Because my supposition, my understanding of this is that Tyler Robinson was supposed to be killed like Lee Harvey Oswald was before he could face trial. And if he was killed before he could face trial, then we wouldn't be asking any of these questions. They wouldn't ever have to show us any of these answers. As long as Tyler Robinson's alive, there's coming a day when they're going to have to fess up. They're going to have to show us this stuff. You're going to have to show us where that footage ends with him standing at the road. Did he cross it or not? If he crossed the road, I don't think it's him. If he didn't cross the road, why is he standing there? They're going to have to show us what they have on that roof. Does he reach out to anybody? Does he call somebody? Does he play on his phone? Does he play with his ear? Does he shine a flashlight? What does he do? Because if he didn't, why did you clip it? Does he actually put a gun together? Because if he did, why did you clip it? This nails down your testimony. Did he really go to Chick-fil-A? Was he alone? Who did he reach out to? Because if he reached out to somebody, why didn't we hear from him? Why did we just learn this at the preliminary hearing? And who was the bald guy and the 3 passengers that Miss Noble thought she saw? Were they real? Is she of not sound mind? Does she tend to hallucinate? Is she on medication for that? I mean, I'm not making fun of her. These are questions we need to know the answers to. Because she thought she saw a bald guy with 3 passengers. She had poor eyesight? Was she wearing her glasses? She wear contacts? She having astigmatism? Glaucoma? We can't know because they didn't bring her in to ask. But I really worry for Tyler's safety because this case is crumbling. What we were told was a mountain of evidence turns out to be paper mache. It's paper mache. And it just, as soon as you start peeling at it, it just falls apart. It's not a mountain of evidence. Not a mountain of evidence at all. If it was, to quote Brett Weinstein, if the case is open and shut, why the cover up? I didn't even ask why there was a spy plane over St. George while he was supposedly turned himself in. We'll cover that later. We've already covered it once. We'll cover it again. Guys, I appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, hit the like button. It helps. It definitely helps. YouTube has updated their algorithm. What they like to see now is interaction. So comments and likes go a long way. So if you click the like button, it will assist the program in doing well. Do that for your other favorite creators as well, not just me. But if you watch somebody's program and you like it, click the like button. If you've not subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you don't have your notifications on, turn them on as well. I'll show you the merch real quick. I showed this the other day, and we had a great day of merch sales. We don't make a lot of money off this. This is not a profit center for us. This is just because you guys asked for merch. We like, see this t-shirt right here, $16.50. It's priced that way because they will not let us sell it for less. Their recommended sale price for these t-shirts was $35. We're selling them for $16.50. So this is not like us being greedy. This t-shirt here is $12.50 US. We price everything at the 0 mark. Whatever they will let us sell it for, we will sell it for. So that's it. So you'll see this stuff is priced really well. We got some new grand jury shirts for the members of the grand jury here that like to tune in. There was another new one on here. Where was it? I can't remember what it was. We got our Christ is King shirts. What was the other new one we had on here? And then we got a couple of hats coming up soon. But this is the allegedly shirt. Allegedly, in my opinion, have it in unisex and female there. Female. So you can get that in the different colors print. So it's fun. These are fun shirts. These are good. This is for you guys. This is not for us. We appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Because it does help the program. It gets the word out. You guys wear it in public. You make connections. You talk to each other. It's great. But, we're not telling you to buy it so we can retire early. That's not the purpose of the merch. But if you like the merch, by all means, order some stuff up and have a good time with it. All right, guys, let's roll through some of your comments. I am not going to be able to get to all of them. I can just tell you right now, I'm not, because I see the quantity. But I will read them all. I always do. And, but I will pull up and react to as many as I possibly can. Absolutely. Hey, Increase. You got, that's an inside joke. That's an inside joke you're pulling back out. That was months ago, wasn't it? Increase Coleman. Still love you and my high Q fan so much. Love you, my B Racerback T. Christ is King indeed. Well, I love that you love the Racerback T. Can we get some, I just say stuff merch, please? We're working on it. We can only roll out so much at a time, but it is on the agenda. Golden Mike, Golden Pager, connection. Go Max B. I don't think there's a connection. The Golden Mike was a Rush Limbaugh thing. He sat behind the golden EIB microphone. I just want to say hello and thank you for everything you do. I've been watching you since October of last year. Christ is King indeed. Hey, you're coming up on 1 year. That's a real fan. Time to refill merch. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Please, can we call Blake the Sneffmeister? #1 fan from Carlisle, UK. My friends are sick of me talking about you. What can I say? I got taste. You do have taste. Except I don't know that we can call him the Neffmeister. Neffmeister actually sounds way too cool. And I'm not sure I'll allow it. I'm not sure I'm going to allow the Neffmeister. He would appreciate that too much. Because if I was Blake Sneff and you called me the Neffmeister, I would let it go to my head. Then we're not going to have that around here. No, not that weirdo. I've been here since the Ian shout out. Just want to say thanks for all you do. Been a class act. I hope you know how much we appreciate you, B. I do now. I do now. The Intreptor. I don't know what an Intreptor is, but thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate what you're doing. Back the blank up and go Max. Well, we got a new live watcher. She finally gets to watch live. Baron, have you seen the footage around TikTok with EK at the event? Christ is king indeed. She was not there. That's a girl who, and no offense to this girl, I'm about to say this, but I know that wasn't her because that girl weighs 80 pounds more than her and then Erika. And that's not me knocking that girl's weight. You know, that's not the point. My point is it's a characteristic from which you can easily say it's not Erika. But she, you know, the cheeks kind of look the same, but it's not her. First time chat, fellow homeschool fam. Number one from Madison, Georgia. Just want to say thanks for all you're doing. Keep going. Max Christ is king indeed. We got some gifted membos. Those will be dropping on someone's head. I'm going to have to do the membership show Tuesday this week because I got plans Friday. So I will do that show Tuesday. We'll be live again tomorrow and then do the member show Tuesday. You wore that yesterday. I did, but only for an hour. It's still clean. This is a different t-shirt if that makes you feel better. It's a totally different t-shirt. But I did wear it yesterday. But it was clean. I don't want to wash it again. Gifted 10 members. That's 10 more people that'll be able to watch the member show Tuesday. Since everyone's asked for a book, why not compile the best of your opening statements into a book? Make a great read. I would buy it. Christ is king indeed. I don't know. Maybe Lance figured out he was the patsy going down, so he framed Tyler. Thoughts? I don't know that he'd be able to do that after the fact. He'd have to do that ahead of time. And then why not just not do it? Baron, are you a musician? Can you play an instrument and sing? If so, what exactly? Not really. I mean, I can kind of hack around on guitar a little bit. Took lessons when I was younger, and I do play it several days a week, but I'm not very good at it. I can't sing. Dogs get up and leave the room if I sing. It's that bad. From New York City, we now have a Baron Coleman Sunday dinner and put on our investigator hats. Oh, from New York City, huh? The Big Apple. The Big Apple. Am I the only one when I see a picture of Erika? Why does the song "You Can't Hide Your Lying Eye"? You can't hide. See, I'll give you an example that I can't sing. Your lying eye. Thanks for your team work along other podcasters. Justice for Charlie Gomax. Indeed. Time half minus y is like a roll of toilet paper. Closer at the end, the faster it goes. August equals last chapter 13 payments. More super chats coming. Oh, well, don't fill up the super chat piggy bank so much that you go back into chapter 13 again. Be responsible. But I appreciate it. Lost my boyfriend on the 15th, massive heart attack. I've been devastated. He was my best friend. Life is short. Enjoy every minute. Man, I bet. Golly. Man, that hurts. Oof. Pretty new here, but I was wondering what your thoughts are on Tyler Guinter. Never heard of him. Who's Tyler Guinter? Tyler Guinter. I don't know who that is. I wish I could answer you. I hate that. Came here from the Joe Rant. Never left. We never miss a show. We have quickly become the show you have quickly become the show I look forward to watch while I wind down. Thanks for all your time and effort and keeping us informed. Well, thank you. Been very kind of you. We love you, Mabi. Christ is king indeed. Thank you, Daleen. It's very kind of you. Miss Emma. Mrs. Emma. Thank you for all your prayers. My son Isaac is doing much better. Good. He's now on a waiting list for more tests for his swallow. That's excellent. I remember he was having trouble swallowing. I didn't know what that meant. Hey, Baron, as a fellow connoisseur of water, I've been dying to try out goat water. Finally found it. And man, is it perfect. Thank you, B. Christ is king. Indeed. It's not a sponsorship, by the way. Not a sponsor. Just good water. 2 of 2. I gave eulogies for 2 friends, ending with Jack Nicholson. You make me want to be a better man. Baron, because we're both still here, I wanted to say that to you. Bonus box book tab 9. Well, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Very, very kind words. First time super chat. God bless. Thank you. Evelyn Martinez, excuse me. B. I still can't with this fact, the meta glasses on TPUSA security, yet nevertheless, we have just one blurry video. They were probably even recording in their car. Blatant absurdity. I don't know whether they were recording in their car. They were doing a lot of button pushing under the table, though. And just before. Unless y'all wasn't aware of BNX post. And I read raccoon conspiracy slop and thought the latest Fed slop was that a raccoon must have moved the screwdriver. Well, that would make more sense than what they told us. For being honest. Jimothy's out there moving screwdrivers. Daisy the other day was like, you know anything about Jimothy? And I was like, no. She's like, it's a raccoon with a short spine. I thought she was messing with me. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm busy. What are you talking about? So I looked up Jimothy raccoon. It's a raccoon with a short spine. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Happy to be a member for 5 months. I wasn't able to catch the last member show live, but it was really fun. Thank you for your hard work and determination. Thank you. I appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed even on the replay. Love the haircut. Oh, thank you. I got a haircut Friday. Just wanted to stop and say thanks for all your hard work and dedication to the truth. God blessed you with this platform and you use it well. Jesus loves you and so do I, my B. Thank you. Jesse Waters interview. EK said CK's body was still warm when she saw him. No way that is possible unless she was there immediately after the event. Are you suggesting she stretched the truth? Erika Kirk? Come on. Don't be that way. We don't know that. But Baron, how about a voter's guide? Number 1, register independent. Number 1, America first. 2, U.S. military has no partners. 3, take no money from foreign countries. 4, no dual citizenship passports. 5, Christ is king. I don't want to tell people how to vote or not to vote. I will say that I have kind of instituted sort of a Texas two-step with my voting. If they take money from any PACs that are aligned with foreign governments, I'm out. I'm not voting for you. I don't care if it's dog catcher. I'm not voting for you. And if you are hostile to Christianity, I'm out. I'm out. Period. And there are people who are. But thank you, Cohen Film. I appreciate that. Your kids are so lucky to have all these podcasts to refer back on for your wisdom and opinions, especially as they age. You remind me a lot of my dad. Well, your dad sounds brilliant and handsome, devastatingly handsome. It was a joke. That was a joke. I'm sure he is, though, but not because of your humble host. Do you remember when the female defense attorney said something about evidence because it might not be available for long? I bet she was talking about Charlie. They knew he might be cremated. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Can I just have one thing? Who killed Jeff Webb? Holds answer. Don't know who that is. First time, long time. Just want to say hi to Blake Sneff and ask him to like and subscribe. Oh, he's a member too. You know he is. Is there a way to search members? Can I look through and see if the Fed sloppers are members? I don't know if you can do that. Thank you, Baron, for all you do. Always telling everyone to watch you. Oh, thank you. Always also heading to Catholic Church next week. I was raised Anglican. Well, let me know what you think, Jill. I'm curious about that. Shouldn't be too much of a culture shock. You and Principal described today on my fave lefty podcast, American Exception, as people doing great work on CK case and only interested in finding the truth. Well, they sound brilliant. I don't know who that is, but they sound brilliant. Did BB call and offer to take RBP to the next level? No one has. I mean, advertisers have, but I haven't taken any. I have sought input from other people on that, though. I don't know. That just doesn't seem right now. Doesn't seem right. My B, happy Sunday regarding evidence the FBI still hasn't handed over and reports they finished last year. Why aren't they being forced to hand it over? Is there nothing the judge can do about this? I mean, in theory, there's something the judge can do about it. It's whether or not he's going to. Dude, your opening on time really got me. I'm a stay-at-home dad at 309. I struggle with the balance of being fun in the summer and being a homemaker. Thanks for the reminder of just how few summers I have with little kids. Mr. Calm, it goes fast. It goes really fast. We took some family pictures yesterday. No, not like professional, just around the house. And everyone was here. And man, They're old. They done got old on me. I don't know what happened. Can I get prayers my way? Getting a thyroid nodule biopsy tomorrow. Oh, prayers indeed. I think you've made it when everyone knows you by your first name. But Baron, you're loved and much appreciated for all you do. Go Max and Christ is my king. Yeah, I didn't show this the other day, but it's a couple of weeks ago. But 2 of the 3 X trending topics, one was Candace, one was Baron, and then one was something else. And I thought, like, Cher? I'm just down to one name now? I got a last name. Put some respect on it. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was interesting. It was funny. Didn't expect to see it. Random, has anyone looked into Jacob Roth, Ben's brother-in-law lawyer, if he's actually a Rothschild? Seems like they like to slightly change the name in the U.S. I have not. I don't know much about him. I'm sure he's a lawyer. I don't know. Any thoughts on Andrew Wilson wanting to debate Candace Owens about Charlie Kirk? Do you know if he's being paid by TPUSA to promote the Fed slap? Any thoughts on it? I mean, what is there to debate? What is there to debate? Unless he can answer that list of questions, I don't really have much interest in debating, and I don't think Candace does either. And again, she has a standing offer to people like Blake and Andrew and Erika. Why not just put one of them up? That'd be way more valuable use of her time than debating some guy who doesn't know anything. Like, I don't get the debate some third party. Like, I will debate Andrew Colvett. I'll debate Blake Neff. I'll debate Erika Kirk. I'd be happy to. And here's the thing with the debate. It wouldn't even be a debate. I would interview. Because if they can convince me that I'm wrong, then I'll change my mind. I don't want to be wrong. If they have access to information and they can answer a few questions and clear some things up, be like, oh, that makes sense. My deepest and sincerest apologies. I didn't know I was wrong this whole time. I take it all back. I don't think they will. No, they should. That's your star witness, Fluffy. We're pinning this on Fluffy. The hopes and dreams are being carried uphill by Fluffy. Best episode ever. Still giggling. Go Max. I forgot about that. I need to get the clips guy to clip that out. Go Max. Christ is king. Should we be concerned about Blake Bednar's and Mitch Snow getting buddy-buddy with each other, considering Blake Bednar's flagrant, unprovoked attacks on Candace, which suspects me to believe he's a chaos agent? I don't know. I mean, I don't worry about all that stuff. That stuff doesn't bother me. I honestly don't care who they're friends with and who they talk to. If any of them can contribute anything that finds out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk, who killed Charlie Kirk, how and why, then it's time well spent. They might have different means of getting to the answer than I do, or getting facts or data points drawn out of the chaos, and good. If they can bring some facts to the table, I'm all in favor of it. I don't know. I'm not concerned about it, if that's what you're asking. Maybe we got to figure this all out, because I listened to Diary of a CEO today about the stuff going on down in the Straits, a few of them. And none of this would be happening if CK was still here. I'm usually right when I get a really bad feeling. Christ is king indeed. Jess, happy? First, thank you. Very kind of you. I'm going to disagree with you with your statement that none of this would be happening if Charlie Kirk was still here. I think it would be harder on them, but I think they would still be doing it. So I don't know. I mean, I think he would have opposed it. Big B, do you think a jury will be too scared to not find TR guilty? And do you think the British agent is a part of the hiring other countries to kill our people theory? Indeed. On the second part, no. On the first part, no. I mean, they let Casey Anthony go. They let O.J. Simpson go. A lot of public pressure on those. You ever wonder how the world will respond if we fail and an innocent man is murdered for a crime he did not commit? That could be the greatest amount of guilt and mourning. Yeah, I hope he, hope he makes it a trial. I have my doubts. My B, I am claiming number one, Irwin, PA. Yours, Never heard of it. I'm sure it's awesome, though. Thanks for all you do. I pray for you and your family daily. I pray a hedge of protection over all of you. Christ is King indeed. Jesus loves you. And you. And you. And you. God bless you from England. Rochester's #1 fan. Thank you for Baron, your wife, kids, Daisy, all your family, and all of you, all of this work you daily. We pray for your safety, brother. Christ is King indeed. Well, thank you. I could always use the prayers. Why did the defense not reach out to restaurant? This worries me so much. Can you think of a reason why not? Do they just have enough they don't care? I really can't think of a reason why they didn't. Like, even if they have a really good defense, witnesses go stale, they get cold feet, something gets changed, the prosecution brings something you weren't expecting, something comes out from under you. If you think you have an alibi witness that can defeat the texts that basically that they're saying confess to the crime, I would be investigating it. But I'm old school. TR and LT work trade jobs. Is there a way to verify whether 9, 10, 11 were requested off in advance or sick days? It's unusual. Both had weekdays off at the same time. A thread worth pulling? Well, we never got an answer for why Lance didn't go to work. He just said he didn't work that day, which is unusual. It's Wednesday. People work on Wednesday. We also did get an explanation for why Tyler didn't go. We were told he requested the day off to help his grandma move some stuff or something. You need to listen to the first queen of conspiracy, Mae Brussel. She covered Howard Hughes, Jim Jones, JFK, RFK, etc. in real time. 1970s to 1990s radio show. Man, did I ever tell you I fell in the Jim Jones rabbit hole for like 6 months? That's all I studied for 6 months was Jim Jones. I mean, it got deep. Read books, listened to podcasts, talked with people, made phone calls, got on, university websites that had archives, listened to all of the footage that they had recorded there. I mean, it took months. That's a wild rabbit hole to fall in. And I walked away thinking he was an intel asset from the beginning, like from way before it ever happened. Whether or not he was, I don't know, but I never really, I might have covered it a couple times. I don't think I did, though. Them on X's, none of your business. Y'all are acting entitled to ask those questions. Charlie's life was public. Erika was on his body in a casket and videoed it. It doesn't get much more public than that. So dumb. Yeah, don't worry about them either. Like, we're trying to figure something out here. If they don't like our questions, then ignore them. How do we find out what happened with George Z? Obviously more to him than they're telling us. You, Candace, and Tucker are keeping America alive. Christ is King indeed. Thanks. I think we know what happened to George Z. Diligent interviewed him on a telephone call and published it, so we have that. We know he was arrested for inappropriate images of children on his phone. We have that. We know he's, I think, still in jail for that. I don't know. I'm not sure what we don't know about him. But thank you for the compliment. Have you ever wondered whether TR had so many different dinner plans on 9/10 because he was trying to establish an alibi in case the worst happened? Considering he's a clever guy, it doesn't seem important. I don't know that he had many different dinner plans on 9/10. The only dinner plan we know for sure is Cowboys Smokehouse. And then there was that photo from Dairy Queen, and we don't really know much about it other than what someone said the time was. So I'm not sure about that. Daisy has a beautiful voice. Anyone else? Daisy? Wow. There she is.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
There you go. She's famous. And she wears a turtleneck. I lost my, she's a dog, right? I'm kidding, by the way. Your picture's a dog with a turtleneck. I lost my husband to COVID. I have peace with it knowing that, and he was prepared to find his place with Christ. Getting too angry and wrapped up in getting Fauci is not productive in the grieving. I think people need to be held accountable when they're responsible for death. I do. I'm sorry. I disagree there. I know I'm not in your position. I did not lose anybody to COVID, but I will say this. Mrs. Coleman was on the fritz, and I don't say that lightly. I laid at the foot of the bed and cried one morning. It was Thanksgiving morning because she was not getting better. And I consulted with several people I knew and trusted, and they all unanimously said, if you take her to the hospital, she's going to die. So you cannot take her to the hospital. It's far better for her to die in your living room than die in the hospital. And I finally found somebody who was honest with me and told me a cocktail of things to take. And she was basically circling the drain. And we took that cocktail. It was 4 different things, all over the 3 of the 4 over the counter. One's a modest prescription. And she was up walking around in 6 hours. And then never was, like, just kept taking it and kept getting better. And then she was fine. I'm a new member, month 1. You're the best ever. Love you bunches. Love you bunches. What are the odds? 36 with a cute dog. What is that? Some kind of Chihuahua. Yo quiero. Barbecue chicken, corn and baked spuds. That is all. Sounds pretty good. Pretty good. Dial back the starch a little bit, though. Mix in some leafy greens. I'm kidding, Mr. Commie. Whatever you want. Just wanted to commend you for what you did for Diligent when he was in Utah. It says a lot about your character. Not that we doubted it, but it's what you do in private that shows the man's true worth. Please share with all. I'll tell the story just because you told me to share it, but I'm not trying to get accolades or anything. I was talking on the phone with him when he left the Cowboy Smokehouse, and he told me where he was headed. And I don't know if he's publicized that, so I'm not going to say where he went. But he said he was having trouble getting his Google Maps to pull up, and his location wouldn't share. And I was like, well, brother, you can't drive there in the middle of the night, leaving Cowboy Smokehouse with a receipt in your pocket, having just gotten a video of them saying he was there. Like, you're in danger. Don't leave. You got to figure something else out. He's like, I got to go somewhere. And so I looked, and he's like, how long am I going to be, like, alone? And he was like 3 hours into the desert. I was like, buddy, you can't do this. Like, but if you insist, I'll put an earbud in, I'll lay down in the bed, and every now and then just say something, and I'll stay back, and we'll know you're still on the phone, and, you know, start screaming if somebody runs you off the road or is chasing you or something. He's like, all right, fair enough. And so I just stayed on the phone with him for like 4 hours till he got there. But yeah, I wanted to be safe. I don't want anything bad to happen. So I was happy to do it. Hey, B, my mom and I watch all your episodes. Please shout out to Carrie and tell her to weed faster. Thanks for all your hard work. Christ is king indeed. Carrie, what is your problem? I don't know what weed faster means, but my goodness, pick up the pace. You got 28,683 people rooting you on, Carrie. Got my hold please mugged. Is it dishwasher safe? Love your time opening the other day. Thanks to you, your family, and team for all blessings. Yeah, ours is dishwasher safe. I dishwasher it every day. I use it almost every day. Of course, we have a few of them, but they hold up. They've held up. So yeah, they're dishwashers. Dishwasher safe. Literally almost everyone, especially those inside Charlie Kirk's world, had more motive than TR as far as we know. He has never even spoken Charlie's name. At least what the preliminary hearing knew, he had never spoken Charlie's name. I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate, but I agree with you when you think about the reason people typically commit murder. It's more in line with the people closest to Charlie than it is the some gay kid in St. George. Which distance was further? Shooter from Charlie Kirk, UVU roof cam from shooter running, or cam behind Charlie Kirk to shooter? All these distances will matter soon. All these liars deserve no quarters or clicks. Well, obviously, if the camera was behind Charlie Kirk, then Charlie Kirk was closer to the UVU roof, to the shooter, than the camera was by a couple of feet. So we can rule out one of the 3 options. I think the camera on the computer science building to the shooter was actually closer, but I'm not sure about that. I guess I could pull up Google Earth and measure it. It's a good question. My dad is 60 years old. Fox News, Trump's America's savior and can do no wrong kind of guy that eats the Fetslop narrative about Tyler Robinson. What episodes of yours would you recommend to shed light on the event? Well, tonight's would be good. I mean, it's a blast of questions that were left unanswered. Why not? It's a nice little summary. I just got Rome Sweet Home for a friend per your rec. She loves it. She's learning more about history of Catholicism. Will you shout out Amanda? Thank you. Amanda, read faster. Taking too long. Not that long of a book. I'm kidding, Amanda. I've come across some post-October 7 Charlie Kirk show clips recently, and what jumps out to me is how much Sneff and Colvette must have hated him by the end. Yeah. Not only those two. Where's the TP footage from the camera about 15 feet to the left in front of Charlie? Assuming it's a turning point. There was a woman at the TP camera. I know her name. She seems delightful. It would show if he was shot or if his shirt exploded. It could clear TR. Well, I'm hoping the defense has it. Sure they do. Chris on Point's video on EK's parents were members of the Temple of Set is an interesting watch. I'd have to see that evidence. I've not heard that. Temple founder was Colonel Michael Aquino, Satanist and specialist in psychological warfare at Fort Huachuca. Christ is king indeed. I don't know if that's true either. I don't know if that last part's true either. I'd have to watch the video. I'd have to watch it. Bro, we're supposed to be watching the CrossFit Games finale. I'll just watch it tonight after I get off the air. Don't tell me what happened, Tom. And Daisy or anyone else who's a mod, if you see any comments that tell me who won or any outcomes, just unstar it so I don't see. Yeah, we're not watching. We're not. Don't spoil the surprise because I ain't gonna watch it. I've watched up until the 36-36 row ski today. I haven't watched anything after that, so don't tell me what happened. I already know what happened with the women's event. Amy Kringle runs away and hides, but the men's is still very much in jeopardy. Preacher Baron, I stayed awake to tell you that I went to Catholic church for the first time today. I've always been scared before, always been too scary before. You know your guardian angel. Do I know my guardian angel? No. I hope I have one. Well, let me know how it was. You didn't tell me. You just said you went. I guess it wasn't too scary. So, enjoy it. A good day to show up, too, because the gospel reading was good today. I petition the lovely Mrs. C for longer barren hair. You want me to have a man bun? Charlie died, woke us all up. He didn't die in vain. No, he didn't die in vain. Good evening, Baron, family and Daisy. Could you have bought the CCTV cameras of Temu after spinning the wheel? Just saying. Christ is king. Indeed. I have a feeling the cameras are actually much better than we've seen. ISR may have backdoor access to flock data stored on Amazon Web Services, protected by ISR Wiz Cybersecurity, SFTW, number one fan in Little Rock. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. UVU has Temu cameras. Yeah, pretty lousy. Are we calling Temu lousy now? Love you, my B. Jesus loves you too. Hey, listen. We're watching the Braves the other night. Watch a lot of Braves games in this house. Watching the Braves the other night, and this pitcher is pitching. And I was like, hey, it's Temu Pedro Martinez. But he was actually pretty good. I felt bad for saying that. But he looked like Temu Pedro Martinez. He had the same hair, the same cheeks, different little, kind of looked like a pudgier version. But it's Temu. It's not going to be the same. We already have a Pedro Martinez at home. Happy Sunday. I'm your number one fan from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I believe you. I believe you. Is that? I'm assuming Cedar Rapids is over there with the rest of the cities. Aren't they all kind of right there together on the right-hand side of the state? Didn't Tyler change clothes on the roof a couple of times like a concert performer, then assemble and disassemble a rifle? I think the disassembly we've concluded they've changed the narrative and they no longer purport that he disassembled the rifle. I don't know whether they're sticking with the change closing or not, though. They didn't. I don't think they said that at the preliminary. Mabi, did you catch Nissy's video yesterday? I got so heated I filed a complaint against Bagley in Utah County for perjury. Slop must stop. No, but now I need to. Is it the body-worn cam footage dying? Or is it more than that? I need to see that. Because we covered the body-worn cameras footage dying. I don't care if TR was live on TikTok, jumping off the roof, gun in hand, screaming, "I did it." Nothing will convince me a 30-6 entered Charlie Kirk's neck. It just didn't happen. Oh, I agree. Yeah, nothing will. I mean, I just can't. I don't think a 30-6 was ever on the roof. I think it's why they've downgraded the quality of the video and clipped it so much. I think we're all happy just to see ya, our most humble one. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Hi, B. Are you going to share who your big meeting was with? Thank you for your truth and integrity. It's very refreshing. TGBTG. Oh, to God be the glory. Christ is King indeed. No, I don't think it's important. I don't think it's important. It was an important meeting, though. I don't think it's important that I share. Might John 17:3 be evidence for personal relationship with God? Are you married to your idea to the contrary? Thank you, our humble host, Christ is King. Am I married to it? I'm married to it. I don't see any evidence of it. I'm assuming this won't be evidence either, but I'll look it up. You know, love a good challenge. Oh, that's Saint. That's the second letter of Saint. Oh man, I'm tired, so I'm going to end up having to put my readers on to get there. I think. My goodness, where's John? The best book in the Bible. All right, 17:3. Goodness gracious. All right, here we go. Fire these beauties. There we go. Yeah. Hey there, Sonny. It's your old deaf-blind radio host. And this is eternal life, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you have sent. Personal relationship? No, that's not it. Look, I'm not opposed to the idea. I just don't see it. I certainly don't see it as a requirement. I'll say that. Oh, now I can't see a thing. I shouldn't have kept him on so long doing my Hey There, Sonny bit. Baron, I know this is a little conspiracy for you, but the names of a little conspiracy for me? For me? It's hard to out conspiracy me. Names of officers and people involved are weird. Officer Goforth lets him go after Bagley was supposed to have testimony in the bag. What do you make a hole? How you like them apples? Hi from Wisconsin. Is this Wisconsin? Yeah. You and Candace have brought my family together and restored some of our faith in humanity. Can you please wish my mom, Lisa, a happy 60th birthday and say hi to Keith? Thanks for all you do. Much respect. Lisa? Keith? Hi. Happy birthday to you, Lisa. 60th, huh? 60. They used to seem so old. It's like spring chicken now. Zen ex-TPUSA door knocker, the employee TR talked to? Well, I don't know. Our government is involved in Charlie Kirk assassination. We're fighting a war that isn't our fight. Our politicians are corrupt and billionaires are running over every aspect of our lives. We are in so much trouble. Yeah. I see why you say all that. Tyler R. has a distinctive mouth jaw shape, easily identifiable. Garage Tyler, did not seem to have that same distinctive mouth jaw shape. Garage Tyler. He's got nicknames now. Keep going, Max Christ is King. Thank you, Alley Top Files. Can Terrell Farnsworth be forced to provide original SD cards? Forced by whom? The defense? Probably. I mean, I don't know if they'd send them directly to the defense, but maybe to some sort of special master or something that can help keep them in good care. Mike and McCoy deleted all his social media last night. Oh no! Is that a fact, Jack? Or did he just block you? Mikey McCoy. Oh, he's still on Twitter. Or did he delete all the posts or something? No, he's still there. So no, he did not. He might have deleted others, but he's still on Twitter. Speaking of, is the Charlie Kirk show going to be live tomorrow? I get a feeling it's not. Will it be hosted by Blake and Andrew tomorrow? I have a sneaking suspicion the answer is no. But I don't know. Will they be in studio? Assuredly not. Assuredly not. They should have flock of footage of him coming in and out of town all around campus. There's hundreds in that town. Yeah, agreed. We talked about that. As for the confessed George Zinn did to, there's that. Oh, as far as he confessed. Yeah, George Zinn also confessed. That's true. Wait, how long have we been on? I've been missing it. I got lost in pet photos on Facebook. Thank you for all you do, Crisis King. Let's go back. Got lost in pet photos on Facebook? Really? I mean, that's a totally acceptable thing to have happen. And who among us? Why would the prosecution knowingly put Tyler in jail for life if they have more evidence from the roof they're hiding? No conscience. Horrible. Crisis King indeed. I don't know why they're prosecuting this case, honestly. I mean, I don't get it. I said months ago, get all university footage. Look at other cases. There's a site that reports campus crime and had clips of past car break-ins. Good. Get it. Share it with me when you get it. Can you discuss who Rick Cutler was? He was hired for that one event. Thank you for all you do, Crisis King indeed. So let's take that into two parts. Number one, I did a show on Rick Cutler. I'm not sure what number it was or what it was, but ChatGPT or Grok or someone can help you find it. So I did a show on Rick Cutler. I don't think it was terribly long, but I mean, it was a segment. Two, he was hired for that one event. I see people say that. I've seen no evidence of that. Just because a bunch of people say something doesn't make it truth. We don't do truth by democracy. There has to be evidence. And we operate on evidence here. We put documents up. We put videos up. We talk to sources. I keep hearing he was hired for that one event. I don't know that to be true. But thank you, and Crisis King indeed. My opinion on why the prosecutor in the TR case doesn't show the entire video, maybe due to the fact that TR was not in the shooter's position at the time of the bang. Scenario does not sync up. I think whoever was there was laying down when the bang happened. Unless the timestamps have been all squirreled with. The timestamp suggests he was. I don't think that's why. I have a theory, but I don't think that's why. Doubling down on my theory that they're presenting a bad case to purposely get Tyler off. Everyone moves on just like Casey Anthony or OJ. There's a reason judge didn't ask, or the defense rather. Yeah, that would be really disappointing. It became a paver emergency when Tyler Robinson wasn't removed from this mortal coil, and they knew they had to go to court now. Yeah, that's about the time it happened. How many of the maroon-shirted men had dark hair? Oh, I never counted. Anyway, they could have filmed the footage on the roof another day, and the whole thing is a fraud. No, I don't believe so, because the cars are in the exact same positions. And I don't think that would happen by mistake. But maybe, I don't know. It's possible, but I don't think so. Sir, enjoyed the collab with Dilly. Oh, thanks, Edge. Yeah, TR did something so inconsistent on roof that he wasn't even there. He says he has more. Does he know to share before 9/1? Hit TR's cell records answer the communication question. Assuming he only has one cell phone and it was not a two-way radio of some sort, maybe. This has me rewinding to the beginning. Oh, I like your onomatopoeia there. I fear the case will end like the Idaho 4 case. Take a plea, drop death penalty, no court, we never see the evidence. Yeah, that would be disappointing. That would be really disappointing. Bagley is full of bull butter, especially after seeing Nissy's more thorough video. Can they force him to talk? We now know that he skipped some in timeline. Oh, man, Nissy's great. I'm going to have to check that out. Hello, Baron. Would you be willing to interview John Cullen for another perspective? That would be a great show. Christ is king indeed. I don't really do interviews. I mean, maybe I'll have him on for a member show, but man, I had his arch nemesis on for a member show, and it was a disaster. The whole show melted down. So I don't know. I'm not opposed to John Cullen. I learned a lot about the Las Vegas shooting from John Cullen, about the Butler shooting from John Cullen. Like, I don't think he's a quack by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm not a big fan of the drone theory in this case, and he seems to be. And so I think we're kind of in an impasse on that. Tyler's found guilty. Would you appeal with him? I'm not licensed in Utah. I'm not, and I wouldn't do a death penalty appeal anyway. That takes a special kind of lawyer. Like, you have to have done that. Hi, Brandon chat. Howdy. Hello, humble host from Boiler Country. Oh, can you do a show with Mitchell Manley? He was with TPUSA for 10 plus years and is speaking out. I'm not going to do that show. He's fine. I like Mitchell just fine. I've talked to him on the phone. A month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember when it was. He was fine. I had no issues with Mitchell. But there's some things that have come up that have made me uneasy about having him on air. So the answer to that's no, I will not. U.S. Weekly article 6/10/26. Carl Radke calls EK's Summer House cameo. Was advised not to discuss details. Carl's a main cast member. I was reminded of the article this weekend. TP is desperate. Go Max B. Was advised by whom? Was advised by whom? They couldn't see if he go across the street and come back out of the woods because the video is so terrible. A 6-year-old can make up a better story than the feds have. Well, we see a pixelated image standing there next to the street. We can see that the camera can see to the right of the driveway. We can at least see him walking that way. You know? Don't body cameras go 30 seconds back before they activate them? To record records request could show what Bagley saw before he turned the camera on. I think his testimony was he turned it on when he started his shift. But that was like an hour and 44 minutes before he found the screwdriver. Love the periwinkle bee. Well, thank you. May Ledesma. Love his high Q outfit. Christ is king. Indeed. Indeed, May. Indeed. They definitely clip many videos, even the very short clip of alleged TR after turning himself in, and only back view. The time it was when TR parents and Mitch arrived at the station matters a lot too. It matters a ton. It's like could begin the end of the Fed slop case. If he's in custody before, say, 7, the case is over. It's a multi-agency cover-up at that moment. The public tide will turn. And notice they didn't give you a timestamp on that video. They showed us like 6 seconds of a guy that they claim is Tyler Robinson from behind, playing with his billfold, and he's from behind. Like, I didn't even see his face. This is the stupidest case I've ever seen. New member, first time, 2 for chat. Number 3 fan in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Seems to me the blatant destruction of evidence is the proof the case has no merit. I've been to Lawrenceburg. Amish country down there in Lawrenceburg. I've been there. Thank you for checking in. Has anybody tried to FOIA the surveillance cameras from UVU? It's a public university and should be subject to FOIA. It's not subject to FOIA because it's a state request. It's not a federal record. Federal is the federal version. Utah has something called GRAMA, GRAMA. It's the way you request records through a Utah state possessed system. We have asked for footage many times from UVU and get denied every time. So I encourage you, if you think you could get it, jump online and fill out a GRAMA request. Let me know how it goes. I'll be happy to look at the footage if you get it. What happens if something happens to TR before we all get answers? Where do we go from there? That's what I'm scared of. That's what I'm terrified of, frankly. It makes me physically ill that so many people are okay with putting an innocent man to death. Keep up the great work. Number 1 fan, Grand Blanc, Michigan. Go Max. The word innocent's doing a lot of heavy lifting there. We don't know that he's innocent. I think he's not guilty. Well, he may be innocent of the charge of shooting Charlie Kirk, but I don't know that he's innocent of all charges, and I don't know what else he might have done. Erika's stepmother's a duplicate for the guy that's on the roof. Firefighter guy. Oh, stepbrother. No, he's not. They look totally different. Yeah, we talked about that in the previous show. I'm not dismissing you, but not even close. If TR doesn't make it trial, hope not the case. Are we the people able to get prosecution to bring charges to those actually involved? No, that's not how you bring criminal charges. The state brings charges. We do not. Can we get current footage with someone on the roof from the same cameras on campus to test the true quality of the case? Of those cameras, excuse me. Or if they have license plate readers in the parking garage. That's good. Anyone that's at UVU or close to UVU, if you could go to that parking garage and look around and see, are there cameras when you come in? Like turn in and pay? Are there cameras there? Like, is there a camera looking at you paying? Is there a camera behind you looking at the license plate? I mean, that would be ideal. to me, again, if there is and they didn't release those, what up? Officer Baglady should be charged with perjury for his body cam statement alone. They charge overnight and last all shift he planted screwdriver. Well, we're not going to accuse him of a crime. I think it's highly suspicious that his body cam footage died, and I think we deserve answers about that. I think it's highly suspicious it died just before he allegedly found the screwdriver. But to say he planted it is accusing him of a crime. And so we're not going to do that. But I agree it's suspicious. But Barrett? You're my favorite gay streamer? I'm the straightest father of 8 you'll ever meet. Too straight. First time catching live and first super chat ever. Usually on Spotify. Christ is King. Love you and your family, Baron. Number 1 in Louisville, Kentucky. I've been to Louisville more times than I can count. Probably could count if I sat down and thought about it, but it'd be a lot. Well, thank you. Spotify's a good partner of ours. If you ever miss one and want to watch it replay, if you have Spotify Premium, there are no commercials on the replay. My gut tells me top footage shows them getting into position, then they get up and run. No shot fired. I think Mike went off too fast. In my opinion, Christ is King indeed. I agree that a shot was not fired from the roof. Helped my parents' dad in heart and kidney failure. Replaced a toilet today, gratefully, after your last opening about time. Shifts in perspective. Thank you for all you're doing. Oh, gosh. Kind of warmed me in the middle of my chest there. I'm glad you enjoyed that. But Baron, happy 57th anniversary to my parents, Dave and Diane. Little ditty about Dave and Diane. Shout out to them for showing us what love, commitment, and family looks like. Thankful every day for them. Christ is King. Indeed. Also, Tyler didn't do it. Well, agreed. And happy anniversary, Dave, Diane. Baron, can you please do a show on Section 219? It's essential the public understand what it entails before it can pass through the Senate. Please. I'm not going to do a whole show on it. I've talked about it, but I'm not going to do a whole show. No. I might do a segment or something. Thank you for your opening. There's so much information out there. All I'm going to do is go look at what other people said, double check the statute, and then, I'll talk about it. But I think it's too late. I think it's going to happen. Thank you for your opening statement on time. The same day my dad passed away unexpectedly. Oh, gosh. Hearing your words Thursday night hit like synchronicity. God bless you and the power in your voice, Baron. Christ is King indeed. Wow. Thank you. I'm sorry you lost your dad. Regarding your advice to Tyler's parents on diligent denizen yesterday, how do they get the evidence out safely and effectively, given all comms are monitored by the feds? They can monitor all they want. If it's real evidence, it's going to get out. The feds can see it go, but they can't stop it. Do you think the judge is feeling afraid for his life? What a position to be in. If he expresses the obvious, will his life, not just his career, be jeopardized? No, I don't know about that. That's a scary thought. Tyler was never on that roof. Sean Ryan articulated it best on Tucker. It's all a lie. Christ is King indeed. Ivan, I agree with you. That was a good interview. Tucker and Sean Ryan. That was a really good interview. Hello, Baron. Been watching since Charlie was murdered. My concern is that the footage was clipped by the UVU police, perhaps under pressure, potentially 3-letter entities. Your thoughts? Well, I don't care who clipped it. Someone clipped it. Baron, wouldn't TR have to go back to get his car at some point after allegedly running into the woods? No video of that. Lots of love. Christ is King indeed. There might be doorbell footage of that if he went through neighborhoods to get there. May God bless everyone here. Deo gratia. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Will you be chatting with the volunteer Jeb soon? He said he's not involved and wants to set the story straight. I actually had a mutual friend reach out and asked if I wanted to chat with him, and I said give him my number, and he's never called. Hang on. Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to him. I would love to talk to him. I'd love to talk to him off air first. And I think it would be worth doing a show. I didn't say he's involved. He's just right there in the middle of the story. And there were a lot of questionable things happening at the same time. The stop stoppingest criminal to ever exist. Longtime watcher, first ever super chat. Keep going, Max. Christ is King, Lord and Savior. The stoppingest criminal? Oh, you're talking about Tyler. He constantly stopped. Constantly. Every time he turned around, he's stopping. Like, think about this. You remember the doorbell footage of him walking down the street? He walks to the end of the road, he stops. And that's when the gray truck drove up next to him. He walking down the road, he stops. Then he turns on the road, and there's another doorbell footage. Phil Lyman's picture picks him up. And he stops at the end of the driveway. Okay. Then he comes on campus. He gets to the top of the parking garage, and he stops for like more than a minute. And they clip the footage. What's he doing? Then he gets to the top of the roof, and he stops. What's he doing? And why'd you clip it? That's all I'm asking. I'm not suggesting anything. Well, I kind of am suggesting, but then he gets to the road. Afterwards, he climbs down, he gets to the road, he stops. And we're just supposed to take their word for it. This is my problem. They just take our word. We're just supposed to take their word for it. When he stopped, nothing happened. Okay. Put up or shut up. If nothing happened, we got a 5-day preliminary hearing. Why didn't you just roll the footage? Roll that beautiful bean foot. Where's roll that beautiful? I haven't heard from him in a while. Where'd he go? Baron, thanks for putting the fun in Sunday Fun Day. Are we in a place yet to get Child Protective Services in to check on the kids? No. No, not at all. B, where did the suspicion of TR originate? After multiple distractions? We got him. We don't got him. Video doesn't identify. Convinced to turn himself in. The origin of suspicion could become. That's a good question. Someone raised this to me the other day, and I didn't give it enough thought because now you're bringing it back up to me. He tells Lance that the police are going to be on him in no time. He obviously feels like he's just very close to getting caught. But the police say they didn't have any suspicion of him until he called the sheriff's department to turn himself in. And that's when they first thought of him. Now, maybe if he felt like the gun had been picked up and the gun, has DNA or fingerprints or... Now, I'm going with the Fed slop narrative here and trying to think of why. But yeah, it's a good question. It's a great question. Great question. Spill the beans. I don't have any beans to spill. If I did, I would. I don't. I'm just asking questions. Look, I'm not asking questions because I know the answer. I'm asking questions because it's weird. You tell me he's in Chick-fil-A. You don't show me video of Chick-fil-A. You tell me he meets with TPUSA representative. You don't show me video of him meeting with TPUSA representative. You show me it's his car. You tell me it's his car in the parking garage, but you don't show me the license plate. You tell me he ran to the woods, but you don't show me a picture of him running in the woods. You tell me he just kind of stood around the roof, but you don't show me the picture of him standing around on the roof. See what I'm saying? Like, this is not me. I should have gone back to this one because it's me. It's not me saying, I guarantee this, that, and the other. Or I'm just saying, guys, why haven't you just proven your case? You tell us these things. You're describing what you saw, but you're not showing it. That's all I'm saying. There's no beans to spill. I just hope Tyler Robinson stays alive and we get to trial and we can finally get a look at the video footage. Because here's the thing. If the video footage nails it down and it's 100% Tyler, I'm going to go, guys, I have no idea why they were hiding the ball this whole time, but that was him. I mean, that's plain as day. But if you're clipping everything, I got to know why. I have to understand why you're clipping things. Why did you take 1 minute and 6 seconds out of the top of the stairwell? Where did the car go? Did someone turn up next to him? Did he call somebody? I don't know. But you clipped it. So I raised my suspicion. And I asked that when the first day of the preliminary hearing. I was like, why did you guys clip second day? Why'd you clip the video footage? Periwinkle's my favorite color. I'm late, but I'm here. So hot in Kansas City, Baron. Happy Sunday, Kristen. Kansas City, it's hot. Go get some barbecue. That's the only thing I know about Kansas City. Y'all eat barbecue and have the Chiefs and the Royals. And your city is split into 2 states for some reason. Okay, so I know a lot about Kansas City. I'm practically a native. I feel like I was born and raised in Kansas City. I know so much. For Super Chat, the file type is a PIC file. Okay. The date on the right is the date the file was created. The date on the left is the date the original pic was taken. Hey, if that's true, Freedom Girl, if that's true right there, the FedSlop case comes tumbling down. Because the date on the left said September 15th. And if that's the date the picture was taken, who burned the note? Tyler Robinson was in custody. Lance Twigg said he never saw it again. Who burned the note? I don't know if that's true. That would have been a great question on cross-examination. It'd been a great question on cross-examination. UVU is cashless. So if Tyler ate on campus, they would have a debit card transaction on the campus. I thought of it because UCR is it really cashless? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You should spend cash occasionally. On Real Bays regarding preliminary trial, La said there's a hidden stairwell tunnel not being talked about by the Woods. How does she know it's there? Is there an underground facility there? A hidden tunnel under the woods? I'd have to have evidence of that. I'm addicted to your show. Thank you. Oh, Xenia, I'm addicted to your show. Are you from Xenia, Ohio? Xenia Carey? I guess they forgot to manually change the file name. Is that what that is? Is that the date? Smash the like, folks. Oh, it's good advice. Good advice. Go smash the like. Tissue samples would reveal explosive chemicals and or impacts, so of course could not be allowed. They rushed it. Praying the defense is prepared with what we think they have, plus questions I equals our humble host, Candace, and so many other competent investigators have posed. Christ is king indeed. Yeah. There better be tissue samples. I saw a clip with Joseph Scott Morgan. He is a forensic scientist. He said in Utah, you only need a GED to perform an autopsy. I don't care what the education level is as long as they're competent. I mean, honestly, I don't, it doesn't, you don't, and I don't know that that's true. I didn't hear that part. But I don't care if they have a 5th grade education. If they've done 1,000 really competent autopsies and they're super highly trained, that's fine to me. But is there a picture of it? Because that filing said all the pictures were from 9/10. That's quick. That's quick. The radio transmission said there was no autopsy. That's even quicker. Baron, have you watched Joseph Scott Martin on Julian Dore? His name's Joseph Scott Morgan, and I did watch that. He spoke about why a quick autopsy might have been done. We're glad I found you. Been watching since September. Your number one fan from London. Yeah, but did he think it was done in like on the 10th? Again, I'm going by the filing, by the autopsy photos requested in the filing or referenced in the filing. Now, if the autopsy bled over until 4 or 5 a.m., okay, then you probably have a pretty thorough autopsy. If we have really good photos and videos and documents and 8 witnesses in the room, great. Great. But when you don't have a medical examiner or anyone who saw a dead body, no doctor who declared him dead, no emergency room physician who was there when he was declared dead, no one who saw a dead Charlie Kirk body at the medical examiner's office or at the hospital even, I think you have trouble establishing probable cause. I'm sorry, you do. You do. Oh. I just found you've been watching. So glad I found you. You've been watching in September. I'm one fan from London. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Edge. If I do not get to see play-by-play of the autopsy with verifiable, unaltered, unedited photos video, I will never believe the report. Words are cheap and images are little better bull butter. Yeah, I'm really doubting this autopsy, if I'm being honest. Give me a Sergeant Barrett. Okay, what's Sergeant Barrett's first name? And you told me it was from the State Bureau of Investigation. Who is it? Who is it? Has anyone seen Mikey McCoy lately? I haven't. I don't know. The picture's going to show the wounds around Charlie's nipple. I don't know. Haven't seen him. Thank you. What was that? A car? State of Utah has not had a coroner since 1972. Utah, that's not been an issue. We haven't talked about that. I'm aware of the coroner thing. Yeah. My G-paw was electrocuted by a cord wrapped around his hand. It blew out a vein on the back of his hand. Charlie Kirk neck vein looked blown out similarly. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, I've been toying with this electromagnetic, some kind of weapon. And really the reason is twofold. One is the very first thing that happens is the shirt neck goes all the way back. And it's like something's pulling his chain backwards because at the simultaneous time, his charm goes in the exact same direction at a very high rate of speed. I'm just wondering if there's like some kind of like some kind of a blast of energy or something. I don't know. I know it wasn't a 30-06, and so my mind starts trailing around, wondering what's happening. I've been screaming up and down about that autopsy report for months, especially after the smokescreen ATF report about bullet fragments. What's the cause of death? Gunshot, entry point, exit, or something else? I mean, yeah, suspect. That's what we're here. How did he die? That's one of the questions we're trying to answer. Hello, I'm wondering if EK does an altar call at the end of her Make Heaven Crowded lectures, or has she ever done one while speaking publicly? Isn't doing this the way of making heaven crowded? Christ is King indeed. I doubt it. I don't know. Is that a thing? Like, is that a common thing? Not familiar with it. Baron, aren't you flooding the zone with these pesky details in a peaky timeline? Stop, just stop. I am only asking questions. That's it. I am raising issues related to the lack of evidence that we were promised. We were promised he confessed to his parents. We did not get his parents. We were promised he called Bixby. We did not get Bixby. We were promised that he walked on campus and walked right, and then we see there's 1:06 missing at the top of the stairwell. Like, these are real issues with the timeline. We're told he went to Chick-fil-A. We see no evidence that he went to Chick-fil-A. We're told he went in the parking garage. We see no license plate. Like, these are just normal questions that anybody watching this would have. The question I have is this really the best they got? Is this really their case? Because if all they have is all this muddy footage jumped around, I don't see how they convict him. Many of those on the stand were our peace officers. That's correct. Everyone keeps saying there's a mountain of evidence, yet somehow the burden of proof is still doing all the climbing. Cute. Wake me up when someone brings a shovel. Christ is King from Oz. Indeed, from Oz. Just hearing Baron clapping his hands, saying, "I promise you, boo-boo," with a head shake and snap in the Kevin Hart in his stand-up. I haven't seen that. Hey, B, after hearing it's not required to do an autopsy amongst other issues in Utah, how can we not believe this was planned to happen in Utah? Just saying, thanks for all you do. Christ is King indeed. I heard someone the other day say that they went back, and I can't remember where I saw it, or I would credit this person. They went back and looked at all the laws that had been changed in Utah in the year leading up to Charlie dying. And it was a ludicrous amount of laws. And it was all the things that they needed to pull this off. It was crazy. Just hearing Baron clapping. Sorry. The widow said she saw the autopsy report and, weirdly enough, never debunked the explosive mic theory. Easy to do. Post the reports and show the world cause it. I don't think she can post the autopsy. Maybe she can. I don't know. Is there a law on that? Like, is that, if she has a copy of it? She's not going to put it out. I mean, I don't think I would put it out on my wife. As always, great show, but you messed up when speaking on the assistant medical exam time. You said 2029. Actually, either 2020 or 2019. Might want to correct that before they call you a liar. I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what you're saying. If I made a mistake, I apologize. It won't happen again. It happened to about the anniversary of me being a member of this Haiku outfit with Morally Grounded. Was on X Space without speaking, knowing anyone. Host led a verbal attack on me because I follow you and like-minded folks. Oh, Jax, I hate to hear. Don't listen to those people. No one else does either. If they didn't do an autopsy, how on earth will the truth of what happened to Charlie ever come out? I don't think they wanted to come out. Remember, they said at the beginning of this, the surgeon called the White House. He didn't say called the White House, I don't think. I think they said he called someone very high up, maybe. TR will get off, then they'll say, oh, well, I guess we'll never know. That's what they'll do, in my opinion. I don't know. Pathologist work on a warm body. Oh, I don't think he's still been warm by, what time did they say he got there? 9 o'clock? I don't think he'd still be warm at 9 o'clock. I mean, the medical examiner got there, what did we say, 4:50? So they get there at 4:50. The medical examiner leaves with the hearse or van or whatever they use to kind of move the body around. They leave it at 7:57, I think, is the timestamp on the news footage. So if he died, let's say 2 at the latest, it'd be 6 hours. And don't they, I don't know, actually. I don't know how hospitals work. Do they have a morgue at the hospital? I'm assuming they do. Put them on ice? I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not medically knowledgeable enough to know all that. I remember Catherine Nestor asking if they should suppress sensitive personal information from the autopsy report. What is that, goofy tattoo? I don't know. ME would see it was not a gunshot. Who has jurisdiction with electrocution or burns? Medical examiner, I'm assuming. I just read the gunshot portion. See if I still have it pulled up. Sudden death while in apparent good health. That's sub 2. So that would still be that. I mean, that was clearly a sudden death while in apparent good health. Irony in EK's post and the nonprofit of RC Taste. I've heard that, Tina Maples. I've heard people make that point, but I'm not sure if there's a connection. Those TikTok reposts were what the news media played in the aftermath of Charlie's shooting. She wanted to handpick what was shown. Is that true? It's creepy, I'll tell you that. And said, I have to sell your soul to the devil to get what you want in life, but they will never answer for that one day. Oh, they will answer for that one day. Well, maybe. Hey, Baron, maybe the suspicious car picked him up down the street. God bless you. Christ is King indeed. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what happened to him. And that's the key. And if I don't have any idea what happened to him, how can the judge determine probable cause? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not suggesting he walked into a car. I'm not suggesting he walked here or walked there. My point is, it's very obvious the camera continued to roll. He did not leave the frame when they clipped it. That's it. And that tells me what happened. What happened at that point? If he walks, now if he just walked out of the frame, okay, he leaves the frame. Great. We lost him. But if you just have him walk up to the on the roof, they have him walk up to the roof and then it jumps ahead 7 minutes. Well, what if he walked back down? What if 2 people walked up? What if you see what I'm saying? You see the problem? You have him on camera and you show him pop up on the roof and then the camera jumps ahead from 12:15 to 12:22. What happened in those 7 minutes? Did 3 other people come up and put on party hats? Did they sing and dance? We can't know. But I'll tell you what, whatever happened in those 7 minutes, they're hiding. They have to be. Or why did they clip it? Why else would they clip it if they're not hiding it? I mean, did he get on a little race car and drive around? Did he practice his backflip? Is he backflipping just in case he needed to Did he practice jumping down off of buildings and running back up and jumping down and running back up to make sure he knew how to do it? But if he did nothing in those 7 minutes, they would have just rolled the 7 minutes. That's my theory. Every time they clipped or stopped, something happened that they don't want us to see. That's it. That's all I'm saying. And I believe it. I totally 100% believe it. In the beginning, I assumed an autopsy would happen after he was flown home. Possible? No, because that's not what they told us it would happen at all. They told us an autopsy happened that day. So no, that's not possible. Those dormant posts are gaslighting by cheating partner who has been caught. Trust me, I know. Dormant posts. What are you talking about? Oh, the retweets? Or what do you call it on TikTok? I'm not on TikTok. Re-TikToks? Retalk? I don't know what you call those. But yeah, I don't know about that. 1 of 3. For all the members of this intellectually honest high IQ outfit who are trashing Utah, do you think your fine state would do a better job handling an international multi-agency cover-up? I don't know. I don't know if they've ever not handled one. I mean, maybe they have handled one. 2, for all you trashing LDS, can you name an organized religion with zero vulnerability of corruption? No, I cannot. Is there a 3 somewhere? And let me do the 3 first. 3, can we please investigate the murder of Charlie Kirk, keeping the hateful, judgmental comments of entire populations to a minimum? I have. Don't worry about the other people. Could be. Funeral director knows about Charlie's body. He received him, embalmed him, dressed him, and placed him in his casket. What is his timestamp? I have no idea. That's a good question. I mean, we know the place because Daisy was able to in a bout of near autistic research, was able to place the paneling and the types of lights with the carpet in the number of many pictures on different websites. So we were able to find the place. And it is in a town called Draper, south of town. Where he was, I don't know about all the rest of that. Like that's outside of my bailiwick. I don't even know how that works. I already read that one. Keep up the outstanding work. Christ is King indeed. Indeed. Gifted 20 Mimbos. Wow. Those are just going to be falling on people's heads. And you guys are going to love it. I promise you. You're going to love it. Go watch the members content right now. When we're off the air. Yo, much love. Would you ever have Kurt Metzger on? I like Kurt Metzger. Works on Jimmy's show from time to time also. Yeah, he's hilarious. Find him hilarious, so in your face about different things. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the work you do. I don't do a lot of guests. So, I mean, I do on the member show, do have some guests, and I would be open to that, sure. Any chance not taken for autopsy could mean M.E. did at the hospital, took tissue sample to office, but his body went to funeral. Good. Yeah, I don't know the procedure in Utah. So, and not having a public record of what happened. Again, we're going on news footage, right? This is totally news footage and legal filings. So the news footage suggested his body left at 8:00 to go to the medical examiner's office because there was a parade of cars. But there was no news footage of him being received at the medical examiner's and no news footage of him leaving. The filing said all the pictures were taken on September 10th. So you put those two things together, just total public records, the news footage and the filing. You put those together, and what it sounds like is they took him to the medical examiner's building and did an autopsy. But I don't know. You don't know what to believe in this case, to be honest with you. Gifted another 20 Mimbos falling on people's heads. John, you're out of this world tonight. Thank you. Erika also posted Psalm 34:8 on X on 9/9. This is tagged for Rich Cutler's Minute to Taste. I don't think it's a coincidence. Love your show, Baron. Keep the great word. I showed that one. Yeah. Baron, have you heard from or watched Artifacts Memoriam, formerly of TPUSA? Love to see a pod with you too. My opinion, Tyler Boyer is evil. That's your opinion. Artifacts has even called out Gary as a flip-flopper. Well, he's not wrong there, but I've watched some of his stuff. I'll be honest. Yeah, I have. Yeah. When my sister died and they did an autopsy, we didn't get the report back for 6 months, and they released her body after 6 weeks. She had a heart attack stroke at 30. No way they did it in 6 to 8 hours. Wow, really? 6 weeks? I think same day autopsy is unusual for certain. And that's what the defense filing suggests. We don't really know. With all the cameras Utah has, seems like the driver of the 110 cars that he allegedly waited to pass before crossing would have been identified in question 2. That's a good question. Did you see a guy standing on the side of the road, dressed in all black, wearing a hat, potentially a helmet, a mask, a sweater vest, a jacket, carrying a 43-inch long rifle? I mean, I'm not from Utah, but it's not every day I see that on the side of the road, particularly when it's 91 degrees outside. Not every day you see that. And I think it would have dawned on me. And if somebody would have asked me, I'd have said, yeah, I saw that guy. It was weird as all get out. But who knows? 1 month member. Been watching for a few months. Look forward to each class. Thank you for all you all are doing. I know it's been challenging and dangerous. Y'all are ever in my prayers. Jesus is Lord. Watched EK this weekend. That woman is not human. Well, I think she's human. She's so detached and doesn't care about Charlie Kirk's legacy. I agree with Candace. She has got to be a psychopath, sociopath. She's hollow and evil. Well, that's your opinion. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. It's a free country still. And I understand why you say that. AB, number one member, number one fan from Clemens, North Carolina. Love what you and your community is continuing to do for Charlie Kirk and Project Innocence help here. God bless you. Not until he's convicted and on death row. I don't think they do any cases unless they're convicted and on death row. And usually it's just like newly discovered DNA evidence. I don't know that they do a lot outside of that, but I'm not very familiar with them. He earned his MD from New York Medical College in Valhalla, New York in 2013. See you in Valhalla. I think a lot of people earned it. That's a good school. A lot of people earned it. I can't shake this feeling that Charlie wasn't killed for a specific opinion he had, but that he encouraged dialogue between the sides. They don't want us talking to each other, working things out. Well, yeah, you can see that in how they're acting now. The full frontal assault on Candace Owens for the simple sin of saying, this doesn't look right to me. What's going on? And why do you guys look like you're covering something up? It's a little much. I recall that one of your previous episodes, the state of Utah enacted a law making a crime to release published autopsy photos. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Good catch. Good catch. That was a new law. That's one of the new laws they added. Begging the pardon of our humble host for tardiness tonight. Granddaughter duties prevailed. Life is good and Christ is king. I had no idea, but I'll allow it. Salonikos in a Gmail. My view makes sense. Okay, duly noted. Hey, Big B, when I hear the word Fetzlop, fudging every detail since lying's our policy, because we all know if the facts don't fit the narrative gets a budget increase. That's funny. Love you, B. Christ is king. Indeed. I remember hearing more than one preliminary witness saying worked as peace officer. Peace officer was listed in Utah code as being able to request autopsy. So there's officers felt autopsy should be done if ME and attorneys didn't. Love you, B. I don't think you're reading the Utah code correctly, but let me check. No, they have the authority to investigate a death. The autopsy is up to the medical examiner or the county attorney or the attorney general. That's who can mandate an autopsy. They can require, any of those three people can require an autopsy. And they shall do it. But yeah, it's, the peace officers just have the authority to investigate. Baron, bless you for your intelligence. I love we all learn from you. I wonder how many times old Tyler with an alternating limb practiced that jump. I don't know. Do you think he might have been taken out? Do you think he might be taken out at 9-1 at courthouse? I doubt it. They've done a pretty good job of keeping him safe in transit. I mean, they bring him in like a SWAT van, like a bulletproof, bomb-proof SWAT van, and they take him indoors where it's secure, and then roll down a garage door, and then take him out inside. And the courthouse ideally doesn't have weapons in it. I don't think they could take him out at a hearing. I don't think that's how it would be done. Ivan, BBC, hang with me here. If this is a Fed slop who's running the op, is this the reason Cash Money has not been fired? I got other people that should be fired. Not just Cash, Blake, Andrew. Others. I'm not going to start naming names, but others. Baron, if TR was never on campus before, how would he have known which way to run away? Well, I mean, if you assume you've been planning something for a week, you have an escape hatch. I mean, honestly, if I got to get out of somewhere, I'm going to look at, if I'm going somewhere and I think I might got to get out of there in a hurry, I'm going to look pretty carefully where I'm going. 5 months of my IQ going up. Thank you, Baron, for your commitment to the truth and always giving us your all. We're so lucky to have you. Keep going, Max. Thank you. You know how important work you, Candace, at all do for our freedom. Is to our freedom. Thoughts. Thank you so much. Well, I'll say this. I don't want to comment on anything bigger than I'm talking about tonight. But I think if you're holding law enforcement accountable and you're holding them to a very high standard before they prosecute a criminal defendant, you're doing good work. You're keeping everyone safer because it makes it that much harder to frame someone else. I think that's good. That's a good thing to do. I just want to tell you how beautiful I found your opening from Thursday. Thank you. They were words I needed to hear as a wife and mom of 4. Love and peace to you and your team from Southern New Hampshire. Thank you. That's wicked smart comment there. What are the odds the shooter fired when question on trans mass shootings was asked? How could shooter have known question on trans shootings would be asked? How many times has this question been asked during tour? Again, did he have something in his ear? Was he on a phone? Again, he climbs the roof. They tell us he stands in place for like 10, 15 minutes. But what's he doing? What's he doing? That's my question. That's what prompted the curiosity. During the preliminary hearing, when you look up and say, why'd they just cut that video a minute? Why'd they cut that video 7 minutes? What are they hiding? What don't they want us to see? Like that's a logical, rational question. Was somebody down on the ground calling up to him and like, hey, the guy's getting ready to ask the trans question, get into place. Well, he's got to, how does he get over there? Does he sprint? Does he run? Does he barrel roll? Does he gator roll? I mean, these are like legitimate questions. Legitimate questions. Please pray for those affected by the flash flooding in West Virginia. My husband's on the ground with Hope Force International to help residents clean up. I didn't know there's flash flooding. Let's look at this. Oh, man. That looks terrible. Wow. What part of the state was that? It doesn't say. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, that's rain up to people's roofs. I always wonder why it wasn't roofs. Hooves? Roofs? Should be roofs. Baron Candace talked about the parasite on Thursday. I think we should call Blake Paranef B. I think he used enough freedom. Do you think there's a reason for Freedom T? I haven't really put much thought into the Freedom T, to be honest with you, for being honest. I haven't put much thought into it. I've heard other people speculate, but I haven't really thought about it. One of two, my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He has exploratory surgery in the morning to see if it's spread. If so, only treatable. Give time with us and grandkids. It's not curable. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. That's what prompted that whole monologue on Thursday was Ben Sass. You remember longtime listener number one in San Diego, down by Mexico. New member, longtime listener. Oh, was that you? The same person? Whitney. Yeah. I don't know if you meant to give twice, but thank you. Nurses and MDs are mandatory reporters. Would that apply to any nurse or MD seeing what happened in ER and not reporting obvious malpractice? Are they liable? Can they talk to attorney and break HIPAA if they saw something off? I don't know that they would have seen anything. Because he goes into the hospital and he just zips right into the operating room or emergency room, whatever. I don't know that too many people would have seen something standing around. But, yeah. Please say a prayer for him and my family as we struggle to surrender our will for his. Also, your opening the other night was fantastic. It was very impactful. Thank you. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, Kristen. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. So what conclusion can be gotten from all the malfeasance of law other than that laws are for us, not them? That's it. I mean, you just nailed it. You just crushed it out of the park. Every day I wonder if this is the day I hear TR die. Sometimes I think I should step away from all this darkness. Well, I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't know. I think he's probably safe until the judge finds a finding of probable cause, and then I start to really worry. That's when I really worry. What happens if bullet hits something? Fragments, ricochets, shirt jumps after neck, hits neck after sound, less force, only fragment found with no exit. There would be evidence of that. What did it hit? Bullets don't bang into stuff typically and not leave any evidence they hit something. Show us what it hit. This piece of info shows why Charlie was taken down in Utah. Autopsy laws and parents providing proof may increase the danger to him. I think it saves him. See, here's why I think he's safe right now, because there has been no finding of probable cause. And this investigation led, largely by Candace Owens, supported by many others, has provided enough doubt in the official narrative that Tyler's remained alive, because if they kill him now, it's going to look really suspicious. It's going to look like cover-up. It's going to look like Jack Ruby and Lee Harvey Oswald. It's going to make everybody look bad. But once the judge rules there's probable cause, that will be spun as basically a guilty verdict. That there's no question, there's no doubt, there's nothing he can do. They had a trial. They'll start saying, oh, he had a trial. The judge found he did it. Just watch. Sit back. I just make predictions here. I can't always say they're accurate, but I do predict. COVID was just influenza rebanded with a PCR test. That perhaps. Right? Have you seen the comment for which one of EK's pageant peers said, EK, I have so much money and know so many people, I'm not afraid of anyone or anything? No, I haven't seen that at all. That's terrifying if she said that. Happy, thank you for being on the side of truth. Could TR have been MIA from the ops plan when he went to Penguich? Like maybe parents told him to get out of town? Like they consider options and call a friend? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who's that? Oh, that's a Jewel thing. Why not flush note instead of burning it? Yeah, it's a good question. Then there wouldn't be evidence of the burn note. Thought JD Vance was the assassin was called for autopsy. I'd have to go back and look at that. I don't know. Erika and JD Vance look eerily like Michael Aquino. A little. They do. I mean, hard to argue with facts. They kind of look like him. Hope this isn't inappropriate, but I came across a TikTok account that makes TikToks about how handsome you are, and I agree. Mrs. Coleman's a lucky woman. She's gorgeous too. Well, Talks with Tiff. I did not know such a TikTok account existed. I don't TikTok. I don't tick, nor do I talk. But I encourage people to TikTok away if they're saying kind of things. No, I kid. Eyes headed to a party past the new Mountain Valley Springwater building. Turned around to take a pic. Got so excited, started rattling about Baron. My boyfriend rolled his eyes. I'll send you a photo if you want it. Yeah, please do. Your boyfriend needs a talking to. Your boyfriend needs a firm, stern talking to, as far as I'm concerned. What happened to the Meta AI glasses and neural wristband controls security team wearing? Guess is as good as mine. Civil litigator, here's the PC determination the judge makes similar to summary judgment, i.e. he's barred from making credibility determination. Similar, yeah. But the standard is different. I mean, similar in the evaluation of evidence. Not necessarily, though, everything in... so I'm going to back up from that and say no. Under Rule 56, the evidence must be viewed in the light most favorable to the non-movement. And that's not necessarily the case here. DV4D went to his murder pretrial hearing this week, and I kept saying, this is what Barron explained. Love all the knowledge I gained by listening to the facts you and Daisy show us to ponder. I don't know who DV4D is. Wish him well, though. 2017 ABC article, Utah FBI John Barrett, ME, suffered decades of dishonest style handling we saw during COVID. Utah FBI John Barrett. This out now. That's the FBI, though. Do you think they said FBI instead of SBI? And that was the problem? Huh. I knew a John Barrett, believe it or not. Probably not the same guy. Been a fan of yours since Ian's shout out. No autopsy? Send more, possible more? That's send more, possible more. Almost as shocking as BS Oompa Loompa eyebrows. Yeah. Those were scary. Must watch Nissy show yesterday appears to have solved the mystery as to who was on the roof with Bagel that was wearing the badge and carrying a gun. I will watch it tonight. After I watch the CrossFit Games, I'm going to be up all night. I'll be up all night, but hey, that sounds like a good one. Hi from New Zealand. Nissy's uncovered clear video of 910 showing the officer whose body cam suddenly stopped. It's clear he lied in the preliminary. She's good. I would not want Missy on my case. I mean, if something happens to me, I want Nissy on my case, but I do not want her on my case if I don't want her on my case. What happened, if anything, to Blake for comment? I don't know what that means. What will happen if anything to Blake? I don't know what that means. Hi, your opening about time truly touched my heart this week. I replayed it many times. I have a newborn and a toddler. I loved your perspective. You? Read later. With the kid's phone vid of shooter on roof, no backpack be the reason. Fake Tyler creeps to edge, no backpack takes off to other end. With the kid's phone vid of shooter on roof be the reason. Fake Tyler creeps to edge. Be the reason for what? Be the reason for what? That's what I don't understand there. I mean, I'm thankful that guy came forward and gave a description because the description does not match. When did Candace release that? That was back in December, maybe November. That was a long time ago. She had the guy, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, she had a guy who had cell phone footage of somebody lying in the prone position on the edge of the Losi Center. He was standing, maybe, I think he said up 200 yards, 150 yards, something like that. Kind of to the south. No. Yeah, to the south of the Losi Center. And he's taking a footage, and then he kind of describes, he said, that guy was over there, and he ran over there. Then he laid down. And then in discussing it with her, not in the video, but I think on a personal phone call with her, he said the guy had a tactical helmet. He was wearing a jacket. He had black pants, black shirt. And then he said the gun did not look like a 30-06 from his experience. And he's a gun guy. He's like a guy who sells guns or something. So, yeah, you put all that together and you got a pretty good description of somebody. And it doesn't sound like Tyler Robinson. Unless he had all that in his backpack and he put it all on. Show me the video. Show me the video footage of him doing that. Doesn't TR grandma live in Panguitch? I believe that's what Candace reported when we first learned about why he may have stopped there. Lisa, no sucks. Does TR... his grandma lives down there somewhere. I'm not sure if it's in Panguitch proper or near Panguitch, but I think she's down there somewhere. What if he didn't go into the woods at all? Looks like he was hailing a ride. Yeah, what if he jumped in a car? I mean, honestly, he could have gotten in a car for all we know. He could have turned around and run back to the Losi Center. You have no idea what he did. That's my point. And he was not off camera. So I assume they are hiding something. That's just, I think it's a natural assumption. I don't think there's anything wrong with assuming that. Have you seen Judicial Watch? Got lots of UVU docs. Yeah, and I flipped through some of them, yeah. Unless they're new ones that have come out in the last few days. Maybe TR was told to be in such and such an area, such and such a time for such and such a duration, so he dined in different places just to kill time. Good a thought as any. Love you, Baron. Thank you for doing the Lord's work. I'm so hopeful. Truth will prevail. Jesus, Lord, Christ is King. Our God is one. Thank you. If CK's alive, huge if, I believe he's on a psych hold. Who was his trainer? I don't think Charlie Kirk's alive. I've never, well, I don't want to say I've never entertained that. I have entertained that, but not in a long time. I think he's more likely alive than shot by a 30-06 from the Losi Center. It's my daughter Leah's birthday. She turned 1 today. She wiggles and dances every time she hears your intro music. Love Baron. Oh, she sounds brilliant. She's off to a good start. I still believe Phil Lyman and the people surrounding him are involved somehow. He's close with TPUSA and lots of connections in Utah. I don't know. I don't know about old Phil. I did reach out to Phil, never heard back from him. Purple shirts, man declaring he did it. Camera stripped immediately. Scene contaminated before police on scene. Then no autopsy, no grief. You talking about George Zinn? Was he wearing a purple shirt? I don't remember. I don't remember. Happened in Utah for a reason. It seems to be a common refrain. Murder doesn't explain cause of death. They changed that. I actually have that pulled up right here. I didn't play it. But he initially said murder, and then he changed it to homicide with a cause of death from gunshot wound. He was activated a couple weeks prior to the bang. Thus the post, allegedly program Monarch. Activated how? Autopsy law code, unsure if correct terminology was changed in 2024. What was it before change? I don't know. We'd have to go back and look. Was Utah FBI Special Agent John Barrett? Yeah, I see that. But they said SBI. And they called him sergeant. They aren't sergeants in the FBI, are they? Let's see. No, the FBI does not use traditional military municipal police ranks like sergeant. They called this person Sergeant Barrett. So I don't think that's accurate. Maybe TR stopped across the street to get in that 4Runner you pointed out in the construction. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if so, it's on camera. I don't know. That would be pretty blatant to jump into a car on camera, admittedly. But if they don't show the camera, how can you tell? I think it'd probably be more likely somebody would roll up and stop and he'd jump in with them. I'm not suggesting that's what happened. I don't know. But I know they know. Or they wouldn't have stopped the camera. That's my point. They wouldn't have stopped the camera at the top of the stairs for 1 minute, 6 seconds if he was just standing around, looking around, picking his nose and pulling his seat. They wouldn't have stopped the camera. He did something. What was it? They wouldn't have stopped the camera on top of the roof if he was just screwing the gun together. They would have shown us him screwing the gun together. So what are they hiding? They wouldn't have stopped they would have shown us the camera in Chick-fil-A if he's just sitting there eating alone, like, picking boogers. They would have shown us. So when you hide something from me, I have to wonder what you have. Oh, I'm not allowed to have that? What is it? What is it? What do you have in there? Like a kid. I'm like a kid. I can't help it. I'm a kid. That's all. I'm just a kid. Forgive me, but I'm just now tuning in. Just want to see if anyone else has referenced the video of Blakey and Danny arriving at UVU. It appears both are wearing knee pads under their pants. I might explain what they were doing and why they don't know where they were. I kid Blake and Danny, sort of. I mean, kind of kid. Knee pads? Blake? Danny? You have something to tell us? Baron Sassy Saf answered your question on X about the sergeant. Take a look. Brandon Barrett. It was an amazing show. I know their heads are exploding. You and Daisy are phenomenal. I love you guys. Crisis King. Let me look him up. Brandon Barrett. Utah SBI. I don't see a Sergeant Brandon Barrett. Did she put a link or just a name? I don't see. I see a Brandon Barrett who was shot and killed by the police. Let's see here. Sergeant Brandon Barrett, Utah SBI. No, I don't think that's accurate. But let's if this is true, this is a good lead. That's why I put up there, and I was going to go back and check later, but I did not. Oh my gosh. I wish people would not give me FedSlop AI answers. This is why I don't. Oh my gosh. The whole thing is nothing but FedSlop AI answers. Holy mackerel. What'd you say the name was? Sassy Saf? Not on there. I'll have to look it up. I'll look it up afterwards. There's a lot of responses I need to get through, but I don't know where the Grok and Chat GPT pull stuff from, but they're just not accurate. When you ask a question, they're not accurate. If you ask it to analyze something, it can be quite good. But when you ask it a question, it almost always gives you the wrong answer. Almost always. Unless it's something obvious like who won the World Series last year. Let's ask who won the World Series last year. Let's see if it's even right. Super Grok. Who won the World Series last year? We'll find out. It's thinking. Oh, the Dodgers. Okay. Beat the Blue Jays 4-3. So it got that right, but that's obvious. That's obvious. My first group chat. Nice to meet you, Baron. Nice to meet you, Liz. Question regarding police scanner dialogue. Wouldn't police use the word the deceased or the victim instead of the actual name? Never heard police radio talk like this. Love you, B. Usually it's not someone famous. TR reminds me of the movie The Seventh Sign. Thoughts? Never seen it. Why destroy the AES plant was the reason? I mean, you're assuming malintent there. I mean, it might have just blown up because of safety violations. But it might have blown up because someone was hiding something. If TR was deleted before trial, wouldn't it be deemed not guilty? He wasn't yet convicted, i.e. Aaron Hernandez case. Maybe, but it wouldn't change the results in the eyes of the FedSlop class. They would all just declare victory and move on. Baron, the Bronx here. What did TR do with the 43-inch long rifle while talking to TPUSA person? Christ is king indeed. I think the official story is he did not have it at that time. He brought it in later. Wonder why they didn't take a pic off his phone of the note when they took pics of the text messages at the same time. What note? Oh, I see what you said. The phone of his, the pic of the note on his phone. That's a good question. A good question. I think Blake Neff is thin from guilt. Or Wegovy. Or Ozempic. I don't think it's exorcist. Hey, B, I noticed the side-by-side was already parked in the map view tonight. It was. The one that moves in the roof jump court video. Wild guess, the jumper hand off his jacket gear back to the driver. Maybe that's why it cuts. I have to go back and watch the video. I don't know if they ever got that close, but maybe. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if they just told us? If they just showed us? Wouldn't that be nice? I mean, they had a whole preliminary hearing where they could have put all this to bed. Isn't that weird, though, that the side-by-side was there at 10:30 in the morning when they get that satellite image or that whatever aerial image? And then we don't see anything else that whole time, and it just happens to roll out at the exact same time the guy jumps off the roof. Isn't that weird? That's weird to me. Long sleeve shirt was covering tattoos that could identify the real person in the stairwell. Otherwise, no purpose to wear that on a hot day. Well, if he knew he was going to be crawling around on hot rocks, he probably would want something covering his arms. I mean, I'm for honesty. If I'm going to be crawling on a hot roof, I want sleeves. If you've ever been on a hot roof, you know they're hot. And why haven't they shown any video from same cam as 41 shown in court of after shot to they cleared roof? Maybe they show the magic screwdriver in the roof. They'll show. So here's the thing on this. It's possible that is the best we got. Like that's like option A. That is the best we got. And that's and it's not 4D, it's not 4K or 4H or whatever. Because Brandy and Billy were both in the courtroom. Brandy Siciliani and Billy Webb were both there. They watched it with their own two eyes. The same video Officer Tater Tot, Agent Poso, and Benny Boy watched. They watched the same video, and they said it was not clear at all. So it's possible that's the quality UVU has. And if that's it, then it's going to be tough to convict him. It's going to be real tough to convict him. And you got to leave yourself open to that possibility that's it. That's all we're going to see. So, and altar calls, major thing in Protestants confessing their belief in what Jesus did by dying and rising the third day. Pastors do this at the end of their sermon. I've been to a lot of Protestant services. I didn't see an altar call. Maybe some. I know. Blake Neff and Andrew Colvett at Bohemian Grove happening. Is Bohemian Grove happening now? Really? Is it really? Bohemian Grove 2026. Oh, I'm on a list now. I'm on a list. It takes place from July 6th to July 31. Who can go to a 25-day outdoor satanic festival? The private all-male retreat sparked public attention this year due to local flight path controversies, community protests, and high-profile attendees. July 6th to 31, that's 25 days. Don't these people work? I thought they were rich. Don't rich people have to work? Well, we know they're not there then because they've been on the air since then. Or maybe they're just going for the big shebang. Is the big shebang this week or something? Having never been invited, I don't know that I would go. I don't think I'd get invited. Out-of-state residents, no autopsy as well? Well, the statute didn't delineate between in-state and out-of-state residents. It just said people who died. Cars in the same position doesn't tell you what day it is if it's a staff car park. And the staff have assigned parking bays. Okay. Can I anglicize this? Or I guess you're you're Australian. Can I Americanize this a little bit? Because my American audience is lost. What the person is suggesting is that the cars in the same position doesn't tell you what day it is if it's a staff parking lot and the cars have assigned parking spots. What's a parking bay? Like you float into it, it's in the bay? Or it's a bay? No, we here in the States, we use bay meaning like it's covered. It's a bay. Like the garage has a bay, or the garage, as you guys call it, has a bay because it's covered. It's got a door, it's got a roof, it's got walls. The bay. Yeah. Forgive me if you've already addressed this. It appears both Blake and Danny are wearing knee pads under their clothing when arriving at UVU in the hospital. I've fitted Costco specials for prep for an impromptu run. Ill-fitted. I'll check that out. Now that you've mentioned it twice, two people have mentioned it, I want to check that out. Def B up all night thinking about the necklace. Yeah, I've been up all night thinking about the necklace. A few types of autopsies could have been external only. Okay, fair enough. I did not know that. Lori France's EMP company would have some electromagnetic experts, like an electrocution, perhaps. Image of note has date timestamp of a file from the picture taken on phone. Image, yada, yada. Pic taken 9/15, 2025, 12/16, 4:31 milliseconds. Oh, they're cooked. If that's true, they're cooked. Because why is that thing burned after 9/15? Tyler was in custody and Lance had already been questioned. Who burned the note? Get the countertop Blue Vua remineraling UV, whatever that is. I tested it against goat water. It's much cleaner and tastier. Amazon. I want minerals in my water. I think those countertop filters take all the minerals out. How can pressure be applied at TPUSA giving up the name of the person Tyler met with? Fake Neff already said that person didn't do anything. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Taylorsville City Police Department has a detective, Barrett, first name not made public. He served 5 years U.S. Army, won award 12/20/20. Well, they didn't say Detective Barrett. They said Sergeant Barrett, and they said of the SBI. How do you know Blake's racist comment about CO? How do I not know? I did a whole show on it. What are you talking about? What, if anything, will happen to Blake for his racist comment by TPUSA? Not addressing it. They're accepting it. They accepted racist in their fold when they hired him. Looking at Nelda Buckman's husband. Company sold in 2025. Funded the identity crisis with Shapiro. Much love, Baron. Thank you. Why would Charlie need a surgeon and to go to surgery if he was already with Jesus by the time he got into the car? Or even if he's gone by the time he got to the ER? That would require you believing anything Frank Turk has to say, and I do not. I've been a member for 6 months. You, my friend, are one of the most prominent voices of our time. Thank you, Jesus, for assembling your warriors in this precarious time. Thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind. I'm almost through the end here. Tell Candace she's a force. Candace, Madam Principal, you're a force. She knows that. She's not being vain, but she knows that. I mean, when you got it, you got it. I'm here because of her. Thank you for going Max. No man should have all that power. Yay. Rest is future. Blessings from Temecula, California. Sergeant Curtis Barrett, Utah SB. Is that a Fed slop answer or you know him? Sergeant Curtis Barrett, Utah SB. I don't think that's a thing. Again, where are you getting these? How do you know this? Because it's not. He's not on the state payroll. I'll tell you that. Has anyone compared the similarities between Mangione and the TR case? Both highly intelligent, stopped college. Mom supposedly ID'd them on TV. Lookalikes. Oh, I haven't, but it's interesting. Oh, remineralizing. Oh, sorry. Baron, anybody mentioned Dan Flood visiting Mitch Snow's house in Washington? Yeah, I debunked that. It's not him. His ring cam caught it. It was shown live chat with Real Bays, Allie, Mitch, Christina, and Stu Peters. I do not believe that was Dan Flood. We got to be careful that we don't fall into their trap. I say this often. If we say something is a fact, we have to know it's fact. We can't just say things. If someone looks like Andrew Colvett at UVU, we can't say Andrew Colvett was at UVU because it wasn't. There's a guy named Cooper Brown. We can't say Dan Flood was at his house because when you look at their ears, they're not matches. So we can't say that he was there. Is it a relatively fit guy who looks to be about 5'10"ish and short hair? Yeah. Kind of has a similar face shape and nose. Yeah, maybe a little. Guys, I got to roll. This is my last one. I think this is the last one that's currently in the lineup. Thanks, B. Other than Erika being poured into, but oh gosh. You, Candace, and the many YouTube sleuths taught me so much. I used to think LDS Mormons were Christians and trusted Trumpstein and DOJ. It's also said, Christ is king indeed. I don't get into the religious wars, so if you have an opinion on that, that's yours, not mine. I try to stay out of it. if you ask me what I believe, I'll be happy to share it with you. But I'm not trying to force my beliefs on other people. I will say this. What I am trying to force on other people is liking and subscribing. Also, a gentle reminder, Jesus loves you. And that's just a fact. You can't get away from that. Even if you don't know it. Even if you don't believe it. It's true. It's true. Guys, have a wonderful evening. I'll be back tomorrow night. It's true. I'll be here at some point. Not sure what time, but we'll be back. Have a good night.